Master Chief is John 117. Hi, my name is Nikos, and the Halo Iceberg is a massive list of Halo facts and information that range from mysterious all the way to disturbing, and it clocks in at over 600 entries. This video will attempt to explain the entire thing in the length of 2 major motion pictures. Now, I've been working on this Halo Iceberg series for the past year now, and I've covered much of the iceberg already. But the quality of those videos wasn't up to scratch due to some time constraints I had while making them. That's why I've rewritten much of the over 50,000 word script, re-recorded and remixed the audio and voiceover entirely. I've also provided new visuals, videos, and all new background footage to better explain the iceberg around this titan of a franchise. Additionally, more iceberg info has dropped, so there are an extra 100 entries in this video. If you're caught up with the previous icebergs and don't want to go through the previous information again, skip around to each part 3 section on the video timeline to catch up on the new stuff. If you haven't seen the previous iceberg videos, or want to take the plunge into the Halo iceberg from the beginning again for the spicy new video and audio quality, then let's begin with level 1 of the complete Halo iceberg. Master Chief is John 117. Starting off easy, everyone who knows about Halo knows the Chief, and those who bothered to pay attention to the story know his name is John and his Spartan identification number is 117. Bungie to 343 art style change. Everything from the guns, enemies, the Chief, the Arbiter, and more changed in looks, arguably for the worse, after 343 took the reins of the franchise. Until the art style was actually walked back to a new, revived, and albeit beautiful reimagining of the classic art style with Halo Wars 2 and Infinite's releases. Bungie, the original devs of Halo, created the holiest of shooters, Halo Combat Evolved, back in 2001 after releasing other games throughout the 90s, such as Marathon and Myth. 343 Industries, the new devs of Halo that started with the release of Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary back in 2011 and released Halo 4, 5, and Halo Infinite alongside several spin-off games. Scarab Gun. On the Halo 2 mission Metropolis, there is an Easter egg plasma rifle that fires powerful scarab beams. It's situated on top of one of the skyscrapers on the map. If a player lures a Banshee into the tunnels after the bridge, they can hijack it and go grab the scarab gun to ruin the level for everyone. Also, quick side note, in the Halo Master Chief Collection release, there's actually been a skull added that turns every weapon into a scarab gun. Noble Six still alive? Yeah, this is a nod to the Spartan player character from Halo Reach's campaign, Noble Six. Canonically, Noble Six was killed on Reach. Or was he? This entry is about the running joke in the community that Noble Six is still in a cave somewhere on Reach, where he survived the glassing, despite, watching him get stabbed. But trust me guys, he's still alive, he's in the caves on Reach living off cave moss. Halo CE's OP pistol. The Halo CE pistol is broken and overpowered. This occurred due to the team on CE believing the pistol to be too weak at one point. Bungie co-founder Jason Jones then cranked up the damage value last second, and by accident opened Pandora's box to every Halo CE multiplayer lobby. Monkey Family. In the first mission of Halo 3, an Easter egg of a monkey family can be found atop some cliffs if the player performs a little bit of parkour. The face of a Bungie dev is plastered onto each one of these beautiful boys.
Alert! Radar contact! Enemy unit! All hands to battle station!
On my way!
Immerse yourself in a thrilling naval story.
Incoming!
800 ships from the first half of the 20th century.
This is the Sangheili catchphrase that started in Halo CE. The elites in the first Halo game would occasionally shout "Wart Wart Wart" in the campaign, which is a Sergeant Johnson voice sample of "Go Go Go" played in reverse. Since then, it's been a bit of a meme, and basic Halo nerds everywhere use it as a sign of solidarity. Peeing Brute. This is a pretty well-known Halo 3 Easter egg towards the latter half of the Ark mission, where you can witness The obvious. It's a brute taking a leak. Although what's funny is you can interrupt him and attack him. Hidden grunts. Starting in Halo CE and reappearing throughout the series, secret grunts appear in the form of Easter eggs throughout the campaigns. The most famous one from Halo CE is chilling off the beaten path of the Warthog run. This peaceful grunt only wishes to inform you of how thirsty he is, and how he looks forward to his food nibble back on the starship. As one does.
Good thing that food nipple's waiting for me at the starship, cause man, if I worked up a big, crunchy thirst!
Skulls. Probably the most famous Halo Easter egg. Skulls came around as pickup objects starting in Halo 2. They have since reappeared throughout the series, and when equipped they modify the campaign gameplay in various ways. Some of these skulls are funny, such as the one that increases the frequency of comedic NPC dialogue, while others are quite infuriating, such as the one that forces players to restart the mission upon death. Legendary endings. Across the franchise, beating the campaign on Legendary grants access to a secret cutscene after completion.
Come here, you mother... I'm gonna... Oh, This is it, baby. Hold me.
Lasso Challenge. This is the most challenging way to play the Halo campaigns. One must select Legendary and equip every skull, hence the name Legendary All Skulls On, or Lasso. So hard that Critical offered $20,000 to anyone who could beat Halo 2 Lasso, which is notoriously difficult already, but with the added caveat of not dying a single time. This challenge is only for Balls of Steel and was recently finally accomplished by Jervalin after the game launched 18 years ago. Various quirks of the AI enemies. The AI throughout the Bungie games, and most recently Halo Infinite, is incredibly complex and challenging compared to most other opponents in the gaming industry. Different enemy types will coordinate with each other and move in units. For instance, grunts will follow elites, but their will to fight will break once their elite leader is killed. More examples exist as the AI in Halo has always been very complicated, and especially so for 2001. I'm not counting Halo 4 and 5 in this batch though, because the AI in those games is dog water. ODSTs. The ODSTs, or Orbital Drop Shock Troopers, are an elite group of UNSC infantry who drop from orbit for special operations on the ground. They are a step above their Marine counterparts, and have perhaps the sickest armor in the series. Out of bounds glitches. Really, this applies to every game, but specifically, you can break outside the boundaries in numerous Halo maps. There are some classic examples, of course, which we'll get into later in this iceberg. Red vs. Blue. The iconic Halo Machinima comedy series started all the way back in 2003 by Rooster Teeth, a company situated in Austin, Texas. Red vs. Blue is perhaps the best piece of fan media ever devised that is so influential it has appeared in the Halo games themselves, spawned leagues of inside jokes.
Say that again. I think it looks more like a puma.
And influenced Halo culture. The first 8 seasons are among my personal favorites. Human Covenant War. This is the war in the Halo lore that follows the plotline of the games from Halo Wars to Halo 3. It began after negotiations broke down on the human world of Harvest. r/Halo. This is the most popular subreddit about all things Halo. Hidden Xperia. This is a very popular Halo YouTuber. If you haven't seen his videos yet, you may just enjoy them. Frank O'Connor. Frank O'Connor was the franchise development director at 343 Industries from its inception upwards to earlier this year. He also moonlighted as a janitor in the Halo film Forward Unto Dawn and is in several Easter eggs throughout the Halo franchise. Mountain Dew Game Fuel. Mountain Dew Game Fuel is a limited edition Mountain Dew soft drink flavor produced by Pepsi Cola Inc. that has been used to promote the releases of multiple video games, including Halo 3 in 2007 and Halo 4 in 2012. Halo Canon. Another Halo YouTuber who makes videos on the Halo lore. I suggest you check out the Halo Canon channel if you're interested in Halo story and lore. Real Life Warthog. Someone made the classic Halo vehicle in real life. And this isn't the only one. Fans everywhere have made their own drivable Warthogs for their own personal use. It's pretty interesting. Craig the Brute. Craig is a hollowed out, dead inside looking brute that was a graphical glitch from the Halo Infinite campaign demo in 2020, who has since become a really popular meme in the Halo community. Teabagging. Former joke, now hate crime according to the insanity of internet publications. Teabagging is a well-earned reward for killing that one bastard with the sniper rifle. The noob combo. The Plaza Pistol has an overcharge feature that strips a Spartan or Elite's shields in one direct hit. If you manage to follow that up with a headshot from a precision weapon such as a DMR or a battle rifle, you can get a quick kill in a famous combo that has lasted all the way up to Halo Infinite. Now we are in Level 1 Part 2. We're still scratching just the surface of this iceberg. Paramount Halo series. In the spring of 2022, the long-awaited live-action adaptation of the Halo series would be produced and featured on the streaming platform Paramount Plus. Pablo Schreiber stars as Master Chief. My bad. The plot of the show deviated very much from canon, occurring on a separate timeline known as the Silver Timeline, yet loosely mirrored the settings and events of the Halo universe. Flood Juggernaut. The Flood Juggernaut is the most famous cut enemy found in the files of Halo 2. It appears to be a large flood form that uses its tentacles as melee weapons and could one-shot many enemies due to their high damage output. Modders have since brought the enemy back into the game, such as is in this case as done by Vengeful Vadim. The Juggernaut has officially actually entered a Halo game post Halo 2, where it makes an appearance in the arcade Halo shooter Fireteam Raven, over 10 years after it was originally cut. Spin-off games. Halo is a popular franchise, and like all popular franchises, there are spin-off titles that have been produced from the root game. The two Halo Wars games bring Halo into the RTS strategy genre. Spartan Assault and Spartan Strike turn the Halo universe into a top-down arcade shoot-'em-up suited for mobile devices. Halo 3 ODST tells the Halo narrative from the perspective of an ODST lost within an occupied Earth city, and Halo Fireteam Raven is an arcade shooter cabinet for 4 players that takes place alongside the events of the first Halo game. Hashtag Fire343. Oh boy, more Halo drama. Basically, Halo Infinite delayed Season 3 amidst a sea of troubles since the game's development. A lot of rage occurred on Twitter, where the Fire343 hashtag was created because a lot of people wanted the company to no longer handle the franchise. Following this backlash, the head of 343 Industries, Bonnie Ross, departed from the company, though many suspect her to have been let go due to the lack of success from Infinite and failure of the company to implement new content and features on time. This seems to have thankfully been put behind us, as Infinite seems to finally be moving in a positive direction. Multiplayer lag. As long as online video games have existed, complaints about connection issues, or so-called lag, have been prevalent for years, and Halo 2 was one of the first games to popularize online console shooters. Packet loss, overburdened communication lines, and more contribute to these issues that are witnessed through delayed actions and players rubber banding all around the map, which built up rage in households worldwide for years. I specifically remember the early days of Halo 3 matchmaking being particularly laggy, contributing to some very frustrating games. Halo meme pages. There are several meme forums for Halo fans, including r/Halo memes on Reddit and more. 100 Ways to Die in Halo. This is a popular Halo Reach video with around 3.9 million views, and I remember this one very well. It was posted 12 years ago and appears to have been edited by the archaic Windows Movie Maker. This video is nostalgic, and I might add, it is part of a wider genre of the 100 Ways to Die in Halo video series. Several creators have made videos similar to this. Halo Array. The Halo Array in Halo canon is the collection of 12 ring-shaped super weapons known as the Halos. The first Halo we step foot on is Alpha Halo, or Installation 04, and Halo Combat Evolved, and the most recent one witnessed in-game is Zeta Halo from Halo Infinite's campaign. The rings were created and fired by the Forerunners as a last resort weapon to eliminate the Flood around 100,000 years BCE. Camping. If lag is on here, then it's no surprise camping is on the iceberg too. This cheap strategy has plagued multiplayer lobbies for years and is highly popular in Halo amongst new players and those who are of low skill and IQ. All one has to do is hide in a corner or highly defensible location and refuse to leave that spot, waiting for enemies to pass by into their trap. Funnily enough, there's an article on Halopedia detailing, in depth, the different varieties of camping strategies, so you might want to brush up on your reading. Martin O'Donnell. Also known as Marty O'Donnell, Martin is a composer who developed the soundtracks for most of Bungie's games, including Halo and his magnum opus, the original Halo theme, which he wrote in only 3 days. He began his career by writing TV and radio jingles for commercials, including the Flintstones Vitamins jingle. O'Donnell had a major part in Bungie and the development of Halo, where he even recommended Steve Downes to be the voice for Master Chief. He worked on Halo as long as Bungie did until 2010, working as a co-composer with Michael Salvatore, among others. Custom games. Beginning in Halo CE, players could edit game settings to enable for seemingly limitless combinations to multiplayer experiences. Players could change starting weapons, scoring settings, spawn settings, and more. Halo 2 onwards would see online custom games where lobbies are filled from around the world. With the introduction of Forge in Halo 3, custom maps could be paired with these custom game types to completely overhaul Halo and provide for some of the most memorable experiences in gaming. Jenga, Super Happy Fun Slide, Haunted Mansion, Trash Compactor, Morbidly Obese Child, and one classic that I for some reason remember, Protect Obama on the map White House. 2008 was a different time, man. Covenant Remnants. After the Great Schism and subsequent defeat of the Covenant in Halo 3, many remnant factions rose from the remains of the Covenant and splintered off to form new forces to combat humanity. Merg Vol's Covenant is the main antagonist of Halo Spartan Assault, and Jul 'Mdama's Covenant are one of the enemy factions in Halo 4 and 5. The Banished are the newest fragment from the Covenant, led by Atriox as seen in Halo Infinite and Halo Wars 2. Halo: The Official Cookbook. Written by Victoria Rosenthal and released in August of 2022, the official Halo cookbook obviously provides directions and recipes for Halo-themed foods. Unfortunately, very little Halo-related material is in the cookbook, and only meal names such as Moa Burgers and Frank's Fish Nuggets and small bits of lore that actually reference Halo. Why is this thinly veiled Halo merch on this iceberg? Well, the cookbook stirred a lot of controversy in the Halo community, and what doesn't nowadays? Again, Halo Infinite had disappointed fans during the Season 2 debacle, and when Halo marketed this cookbook, fans were frustrated due to the efforts to sell a cookbook but not add content to the game. Even though the author of this cookbook had nothing to do with supplementing Halo with content, and therefore the creation of this book did not take away from Infinite's development. And the recipes actually look pretty good in this book though. Also, I feel like people on the internet just want something to maul at sometimes. With the release of Forza Horizon 3, the iconic Halo Warthog, minus the chain gun turret, made its way into the Xbox title in a sort of cross-promotion event. The racing series even saw the vehicle return for the 4th and 5th installments in the series, along with an additional run complete with Pelicans, Banshees, voice acting, and Cortana. Minecraft Halo mashups. Minecraft's Xbox 360 edition, and soon the Bedrock edition, offers a special resource pack themed around the Halo franchise, complete with a new tutorial world that mashed up multiple Halo maps and levels into a single Minecraft world. The Halo Mashup Pack also provided Halo soundtracks that replaced Minecraft's normal music. I remember actually buying this as a kid years ago. Covenant species proper names. The aliens we've come to know and love, such as the elites, grunts, jackals, and more, are actually only called so by the UNSC as military designations. In reality, these alien species go by proper names. Elites are actually called Sangheili, grunts are Ungoi, and you can find a lot more about this throughout the Halo wikis. Machinima is a style of cinema where real-time computer graphics engines are used to compose a film. Halo Machinimas specifically were very popular back in the early days of YouTube, where Red vs. Blue would be perhaps the most famous Machinima series of all time. In Red vs. Blue, player characters are moved to mimic speech and acting, and voice actors recorded their lines through phone calls to create that classic helmet microphone audio effect from the early days of the show. Map remakes. With as many classic multiplayer maps as there are throughout the Halo franchise, Bungie and 343 knew best to remake some of their most popular and best maps. A few examples include the remakes of Midship and Ivory Tower from Halo 2 into Halo Reach, along with Halo CE's vast Blood Gulch being remade in Halo 2, Reach, Halo 2 Anniversary, and even Halo Wars as a similarly styled strategy arena. Forgers have even remade several of these classic maps in Infinite as well. Idle animations. Idle animations are movements that a character performs whenever their player is inactive for long periods of time. They've been implemented starting in Halo CE and have since appeared throughout the series. I always really liked these animations too, as they provided immersion for the player, as depending on what the player is holding, unique aspects of each weapon are often toyed with by the hands of the Spartan that further gives clues as to how these fantasy weapons function. Clans. Clans are common throughout online video games, especially in shooters. In Halo, players grouped up into these so-called clans and roamed around matches as a party. It's common for these clans to set their service tag to a clan tag, where each member of the clan would share the same service tag to designate their position in the clan. Forgers also made clan maps for parties to congregate and discuss, and clans consist of a hierarchical structure, with a sort of corporate ladder with the leaders at the top. Basically, clans are for people who take Halo, or any multiplayer game, very seriously. Red reticle range. In the Halo games, the aiming reticle for each weapon will change to a red color whenever aiming at an enemy, or a green color when aiming at a friendly. This color change will occur at different ranges depending on the weapon used and how suited it is for long-ranged combat. And the moment it turns red is when controller aim assist kicks in, so it is typically when a player will want to begin firing their weapon. Steve Downes. Mr. Downes is the voice actor for the Master Chief in nearly every Master Chief appearance in media, excluding very few cases such as the Halo TV series. The legendary voice has since become synonymous with the Chief, as his roles and voice acting don't really extend far past the green suit. Official novels. Various Halo novel runs have been published to flesh out the backstory for the universe of Halo. The earliest and most famous series of these novels were published from 2001 to 2006, and include Halo: The Fall of Reach and Halo: The Flood, two of the more famous novels from the glory days of Halo. The novels extend to Forerunner lore, Covenant species backstories, and the Alpha 9 ODST squad. Some of these novels are really good as well. I've actually read a few of these myself. Yo, they put the guy from Fortnite into Halo! No way! Red vs. Blue Door. On the Halo 3 campaign mission Crow's Nest, players can witness a scene of a Marine arguing with another Marine through a locked door. The Marines are voiced by various characters from the Red vs. Blue Machinima series, and the dialogue in this Easter egg changes depending on the difficulty the player had selected.
Hey, open up!
Password.
What?
Need the password.
You gotta be kidding me. What password?
Password. They gave it out at the staff meeting 15 minutes ago.
Meeting? What meeting? I was out here.
Not supposed to let anyone in without it.
If the staff meeting just ended, no one outside is gonna know the freaking password. Now open up. We need ammo and the chief is out here.
Does he know the password?
He wasn't at the meeting either.
Red vs. Blue has made several appearances throughout Easter eggs all over the Halo franchise, and this Easter egg is perhaps the most famous example of that. Game taglines and slogans. The Halo series titles each have a slogan, or saying if you will, that hint at the main theme or plotline of each game. Peter Jackson's Halo film. The long-awaited Halo film was confirmed way back in 2005, and was intended to be produced by Peter Jackson and Fran Walsh. The film plans eventually fell through as funding was cut, and many of the elements of the cancelled Halo movie were actually recycled for District 9. It's a shame this film was canned, though at least many of these props went into Halo Landfall, which is a gritty series of shorts taking place on Earth as Chief entered orbit at the end of Halo 2, which is honestly a far better representation of Halo in film than the Halo TV series we got last year. Also, quick tidbit, the cancelled Halo Chronicles game from 2006 was also being directed by Peter Jackson as a sort of tie-in with this film, and this cancelled Halo game is something I'll cover further as we get deeper into the iceberg. Recon Armor. This coveted, rare armor suit for a long time could only be unlocked in Halo 3 after completing the Vidmaster series of challenges, or by playing a Halo 3 match with a Bungie employee in the same lobby. This unlockable cosmetic set was legendary, and turned into a sort of gaming urban legend back in the day. Halo Waypoint. This is the official forum board and news site for Halo, run by 343 Industries. You can remotely customize your Spartan, view stats from your matches, and more on Halo Waypoint. E3 trailers. Halo has gone through several entertainment expos in the past, with the most famous, or rather infamous E3 trailer being the Halo 2 reveal trailer, where a totally different, barely working build of Halo 2 is shown to the public. This level that was shown in the demo was later scrapped and never saw any commercial release. I wonder if there's any way we can play this unreleased demo, as it showed a very different new Mombasa, a semi-automatic battle rifle, and more that never made it to Halo 2 proper. Grunts with Toys cutscene differences. In the opening of Delta Halo, which is a Halo 2 mission about halfway through the campaign, during the drop pod cutscene, a grunt can be seen playing with toys or grenades depending on the difficulty selected, and in the anniversary remake of Halo 2, a jackal teases a grunt with varying dolls. Each of these dolls change depending on the difficulty selected as well. Halo 3 Rat. In August of 2020, a viral tweet of the Halo 3 Rat model in all its low polygon count glory took the internet by storm. Since then, Halo 3 Rat has become a bit of a meme. Hunt the Truth. This is a Halo 5 marketing campaign that consisted of commercials that set the stage for Halo 5's plot, The marketing campaign culminated in a canon audiobook-styled podcast of sorts, where journalist Benjamin Jarrod uncovers the truth of the Master Chief and the horrors of the Spartan program while attempting to escape Oni and government persecution. Halo 5's false advertising. While the Hunt the Truth podcast was great, it had a far better narrative than Halo 5 did and seemingly had nothing to do with the game's actual plot. Additionally, the commercials portrayed Master Chief and his pursuer, Spartan Locke, at gunpoint with each other. We see a dying Chief in one of these commercials, where the characters seemingly really hate each other and have some pretty big grudges. This would have made for a really dramatic and interesting story, but instead Halo 5's plot played it safe and was very low risk. The two Spartans throw a few punches, while the narrative drags on about Cortana, who has been resurrected only 2 missions into the game. The conflict between Chief and Locke was something I was actually looking forward to when I was younger, and I feel kind of gypped we actually got such a lackluster plot that has nothing to do with the hashtag Hunt the Truth messaging. I find it interesting that we were asked to hunt for the truth from a marketing campaign that lied to fans, in a game with no lies or truth to seek out. Quick tidbit, Halo 2 also had some false marketing of its own. The marketing suggested players would fight on Earth for a longer period in the game, but only 2 missions actually took place on Earth's surface, and if anything, Halo 3 had far more missions in Africa than the rest of the franchise. Speedrunning. Halo is no stranger to the speedrunning community. HaloRuns.com is a well-maintained repository of Halo speedrunning records. Assassinations. First seen in Halo Reach, if a player held the melee button down on an enemy's back, a special execution animation would play where their character, whether Spartan or Elite, would violently kill their opponent in a rather intimate manner. From knives to broken necks, these animations would enter customization territory in Halo 5, where players could select unique assassination animations they earned from rec packs. Assassinations have strangely not returned in Halo Infinite despite fans wanting them a lot. Harmless Armless Flood. Specifically in Halo CE, if you shoot both the arms off of a Flood combat form, they will rush you and, well, attempt to give you an armless hug. They cannot melee you with their claw or shoot you with their opposing hand, so they propel themselves into you harmlessly. It's pretty hilarious actually. It is possible to also make harmless flood forms in Halo 2 and 3, but you gotta be a bit more clever and choose specifically which limbs you want to dismember. You gotta be a surgeon about it. Boss fights. Halo is no stranger to boss fights, but they haven't always been so great. If anything, they've been alright, I guess? Like in Halo 2, there's the Among Us boss fight against the Heretic and the final boss with Tartarus. And they're okay, but in Halo 3 there's the Guilty Spark fight, which is eh. And Halo 5 there's like 9 Warden Eternal fights. Come on guys. But finally, in Halo Infinite there are several boss fights that are actually my favorites. They are mostly well designed, challenging, and pretty fun to fight. Spartans 1, 2, 3, and 4. The Spartan Project has seen multiple different iterations as the war against both the insurrectionists in the Outer Colonies and the Covenant each became more desperate. Spartan 1s were the first to be developed. Also known as the Orion Project, a select group of human volunteers were physically augmented. These super soldiers rarely, if ever, had used power armor in combat against human insurgents, and Sergeant Johnson was an Orion candidate whose augmentations were unsuccessful. The Spartan 2s were developed next, where children were abducted at a young age and augmented to create extremely powerful soldiers, complete with Mjolnir power armor. Master Chief is the most notable of this breed of Spartans. Spartan 3s are a cheaper, less effective alternative developed as the war against the Covenant exhausted more of humanity's resources. Most of them wore SPI armor suits that lacked shielding, but provided basic protection and active camo stealth technology. Despite this, there were many that were equipped with actual Mjolnir armor, such as Noble Team from Halo Reach, if they were assembled for special missions. Spartan 4s are less effective than 2s as well, as grown adults were chosen for the program for light augmentations. This generation came around after the Human Covenant War and included Buck, Locke, Palmer, and more. They were seen in gameplay in Halo 4 for the first time. The Guardians, Halo 5. The Guardians from Halo 5 are one of the main subjects of Halo 5's plot. They are Forerunner-constructed superweapons that are utilized to police solar systems. Cortana attempts to utilize them in her short-lived and bizarre villain arc. You can find a wrecked Guardian in the skybox of Halo Infinite. Demographic shift. Starting with Halo 5 Guardians, Halo would no longer be a mature 17 and up rated game. Halo 5 and Infinite have been rated T for teen, as very little to no graphic violence is on display. The grotesque flood along with the blood and gore that Halo used to display have largely been toned down or completely cut out. It seems that Halo was pushing for a more family-friendly target audience, which has significantly reduced the grounded, more serious nature of the plot in Halo. Dual wielding. In Halo 2 and 3, players could hold two pistol-sized weapons of their choice in a multitude of combinations, allowing them to fire two weapons at one time. This feature has never made a return since. Gouda are an alien species complete with tusks, claws, and a big tail that are native to the planet Reach. Alongside the Moa, they are the only wildlife in Reach's world that the player can actually see in gameplay. Only 2 Gouda can be found in the campaign on the mission Nightfall, and more encounters were planned but ultimately cancelled. Additionally, Gouda is likely named after the Gua, a demon from Hungarian mythology, which makes sense as Reach was commonly settled by groups of Hungarian descent. Now we move to the first bits of new content added to the iceberg. This is Level 1 Part 3. Halo Fireteam Raven. Like I mentioned earlier, the arcade game Halo Fireteam Raven was a massive 4-player cabinet where each player filled the multicolored boots of an ODST within a fireteam known as Fireteam Raven. The arcade game followed the extended lore of events that took place on Installation 04, or the first Halo ring, from Halo Combat Evolved. It was released on July 10th, 2018 in a select group of Dave & Buster's locations in the United States, and it was soon released worldwide. Additionally, the Master Chief Collection got a season known as Raven that had all of the cosmetics of the Fireteam Raven squad, as well as many other goodies added to the game. Joseph Staten was the director of cinematics at Bungie during the development of the first 3 Halo games. He also wrote the 5th Halo novel, Halo Contact Harvest, and played a major role in the story and universe development of the following Bungie Halo games. He also was hired in 2020 as the lead of Halo Infinite's campaign development. AI Voices 11 Labs. This is a reference to the relatively new batch of Halo memes that utilize AI deepfaked replications of the voices from Halo characters to make memes and internet jokes.
Tally ho, lads. The grape shot shreds 2 men in the blast. The sound and extra shrapnel set off car alarms. Fix bayonet and charge the last terrified rapscallion. He bleeds out waiting on the police to arrive since triangular bayonet wounds are impossible to stitch up, just as the Founding Fathers intended.
Cortana. Cortana is Master Chief's artificial intelligence advisor. She tags along with the Master Chief throughout most of the conflict between the humans and Covenant and joins him in his future adventures. Microsoft released a voice assistant similar to Apple's Siri and named it after her. Cortana's voice assistant is even voiced by the game character's voice actress as well. 343's in-universe explanation for 343's art style change. This is some makeshift lore 343 Industries cobbled together to explain to confused fans why all the designs of pretty much everything in the universe changed so much between Halo 3 and 4. Chief's armor suit change is explained by nanomachines, and the differences in appearance of the Covenant races was explained as different offshoot species of the classic species of alien enemies we know and love. This hasty lore change was quickly retconned by accident when the Arbiter appeared in Halo 5 to have the same design as these new elites, so I guess the Arbiter swapped out his genetic code or something in between games. Thankfully, we returned to the gorgeous original art style in Halo Infinite, and the game actually looks better than ever. Also, anyone gonna talk about how the massive warship Chief was stuck in cryo changed looks completely between Halo 3 and 4 with no explanation? Yeah, this is some of the laziest lore ever. Halo Plasma Posting is a Facebook group focused on Halo memes. It has over 70,000 members, and there's also a Twitter account that posts Halo memes on the regular by the same name as well. Sadie's Story. Sadie's Story is the side plot in Halo 3 ODST's audio logs that can be downloaded through terminals scattered throughout New Mombasa. The story follows a Kenyan girl named Sadie during her escape from New Mombasa as the Covenant invaded the city in 2552. This story goes down several twists and turns that I won't spoil for you, but I recommend it, it's worth a listen. Master Chief's Luck. A few times in the Halo games, Master Chief has been described as extremely lucky, and he is even canonically lucky. falling from orbit and surviving, escaping a glassing on Delta Halo, and defying death hundreds of times despite all odds is John's strong suit. Cortana ended up picking him after all as her Spartan of choice, all because of his good luck.
They let me pick. Did I ever tell you that? That you had something they didn't. Something no one saw but me. Can you guess? Luck.
The Xalanin, also known as the Endless, are a highly technological alien race who is imprisoned by the Forerunners on Zeta Halo due to their ability to survive the effects of the Halo rings. The only Xalanin we know of is the Harbinger, who is one of the main antagonists in Halo Infinite. Fan art. Halo has a lot of fan art, as it should judging by how massive the franchise is. Halo 5 Seeker Helmet. This is quite possibly the ugliest cosmetic in all of the franchise. The Halo 5 Seeker Helmet, also known as Beats by Dre, or Absolute Hideous Nightmare Fuel, is by far the ugliest helmet in all of Halo 5, let alone all of Halo. The 343 art style was not kind to this goofy helmet. It's absolutely unforgivably atrocious, to the point where it has achieved meme-like status in the Halo community. Level chapters. In the Halo campaigns, each mission consists of chapters. In Halo Combat Evolved, each of these are announced to the player by cinematic black bars closing in from the top and bottom of their screen, followed by a fun phrase that hints at the events coming up in the mission. In other games in the series, the black bars are replaced by other means, but in most of the 343 games, they don't make an appearance. I liked these a lot. They were a fun way to break up the mission and make the player feel like they were making progress. Forward Unto Dawn. The UNSC Forward Unto Dawn was the frigate that the Master Chief was trapped on, cut in half and floating in space at the end of the third Halo game. The first mission of Halo 4 takes place on board the Forward Unto Dawn as the wreckage encounters the planet Requiem and Cortana wakes the Master Chief from his multi-year slumber. It's also the title of a Halo mini-series that came out to promote Halo 4. Retconned lore. Halo has some retconned lore, or lore that is no longer part of the canon for one reason or another. Some of the more prominent examples of which we will cover in full deeper down the iceberg. Mega Constructs. Formerly known as Mega Bloks, Mega Constructs are a Canadian construction set toy line. Halo Mega Bloks, or Mega Constructs, have been what is likely to be their most popular line of Mega Constructs. The sets and figures that resemble vehicles, scenes, and characters from Halo are widely loved by merch hunters and fans alike. So much so that I made the use of stop-motion animation of a few of these Mega Constructs Halo characters in my 10K sub special. Many Halo Mega Constructs stop-motion movies exist like this online as well, many of which are very impressive in quality, way better than mine. Master Chief's face. The full face of the Master Chief is a mystery. The gold visor is as close as we will get to identifying the Chief, as it is a long-running tradition that the Master Chief has never shown his face once. This is to enforce the bland slate identity of the Chief, forcing the player to put themselves in the Chief's faceless suit and see themselves in that visor. Although in Halo 4 he did kind of get like a bridge of the nose reveal, but that's not really a face reveal. DigSite is really awesome. It's a team comprised of 343 Industries employees and modders from the community who are attempting to recover cut content from the various Halo games and make them available to modders in the community. Cut weapons, vehicles, and more are planned to be returned to the community who never got to see them past developer commentaries. And dude, this is just plain awesome. Fans will get to finally experience cut content within the Halo games. The Master Chief Collection team at 343 Industries is just plain outstanding nowadays. Well done, lads. Now we move on to level 2 of the iceberg. Hold RB to flip. Wait, what? How did you do that? In Halo 3, large mobile bases fit with turrets and room for the whole family called elephants are present on the multiplayer map Sand Trap. While these behemoths make Capture the Flag a mobile base battle, which is extremely fun, it is highly unlikely you will actually be able to flip one of these. If a player does, likely in Forge using a metric load of explosives or by using a Scorpion as a wedge, the player will receive a bizarre message on screen to flip the vehicle back over using their controller. A fun reward Easter egg for those who manage the impossible. My family and I actually found this one out on our own long ago. The Guardians, pre-Halo 5. These are going to show up a lot further down the iceberg, so buckle up. Anytime you die to mysterious circumstances in Halo games, typically due to getting killed by map scenery, including the towers on Halo 3's sandbox, the kill feed will announce that you were killed by the Guardians. Before Halo 5, it was unknown as to what these Guardians were in the lore, which led to numerous fan theories and plenty of questioning of a greater meaning. In the code of the game, it simply is referring to whenever a player is getting killed by anything not used by another player. Halo 3 terminals. The first terminals were Easter eggs hidden throughout Halo 3's campaign. From what I've gathered, they also serve as communication between the Chief and Mendicant Bias, who is a Forerunner character who we'll talk about more further down this iceberg. These Forerunner data logs hold much secret info to the lore of the extended universe. Vidmaster challenges. Vidmaster challenges are very difficult side objectives to be accomplished in both Halo 3, Halo 3 ODST, and some of the Halo mobile games. If a player completed all 4 in Halo 3 and all 3 in Halo 3 ODST, they would earn the coveted Recon armor in Halo 3 multiplayer. As mentioned earlier, this Recon armor was mythical and well sought after, and actually led to multiple fake maps being made that claimed to give a player Recon upon download through the file share. I didn't even fall for one of these one time as a kid. Okay, I actually fell for it like 3 times. Also, the hardest Halo 3 challenge, beating the final mission online with 4 players, the Iron Skull, and all ghosts made me cry when I was 9 because it crashed at the last minute. Sad. I ended up being gifted Recon somehow a month later though. Halo is a cool guy and doesn't afraid of anything. This is an old meme of a pretty dumb blog post stating, and I quote, "I think Halo is a pretty cool guy. It kills aliens and doesn't afraid of anything." This entry was originally titled Guys on Underwear in the first version of the Halo iceberg, and it's now known that this is the Jason Jones or half-naked guy Easter egg. This is an Easter egg that appears throughout the Halo series. A 2D floating cutout of Bungie co-founder Jason Jones can be found in the background of the Halo 2 cutscene for the mission Gravemind, if played on Legendary. It can also be seen in gameplay on the final mission of Halo 3. To get there myself, it took several deaths as you have to leap across a bottomless pit using a combination of grenades and hammer jumping. It took several tries, but somehow I managed to see this beautiful Easter egg. Johnson's difficulty-specific dialogues. Sergeant Johnson in Halo CE and Halo 2 says something different, oftentimes funnier in specific cutscenes, depending on which difficulty is selected. Here are some examples.
You hit Marine?
No, sir.
Then listen up. When I joined the Corps, we didn't have any fancy schmancy tanks. We had sticks. 2 sticks and a rock for a whole platoon. And we had to share the rock. Buck up, boy. You're one very lucky Marine.
What about that Scarab?
We've all run the simulations. They're tough, but they ain't invincible. Stay with the Master Chief. He'll know what to do. You hit Marine?
No, sir.
Then listen up. Usually the good Lord works in mysterious ways, but not today. This here is 66 tons of straight up, HE spewing divine intervention. If God is love, then you can call me Cupid.
What about that Scarab?
We've all run the simulations. They're tough, but they ain't invincible. Stay with the Master Chief. He'll know what to do.
BXR trick. This is a Halo 2 button combo. There's several Halo 2 button glitches that pros use that give the game an intense skill gap. A near instant kill can be accomplished by meleeing, reloading to cancel the melee animation, and then headshotting an opponent in quick succession. It is absolutely busted. The number 7. The number 7 is somewhat of a lucky number in Bungie lore. They love the number, and they include it in every game they've produced since 1991. You have without a doubt already heard the number 7 a few times at least in this video to give you an idea of how much they love it. They even created Bungie Day on July 7th or 7/7. They created special playlists in Halo 3 and Reach just for those Bungie days that had awesome modes and gave you double XP in some cases. Prepare yourself to hear the number 7 a lot more. Singing Grunt from Halo 5. There are multiple singing grunt Easter eggs throughout Halo 5, but most notably is the one sitting atop the cliff with a skull in his hand. You can punt him off the cliff if you're a soulless demon and be gifted with a skull. And enjoy the present you monster. Noble Team's deaths are all ironic. This is a reference to the Halo Reach campaign. Each Spartan in Noble Team dies in an ironic fashion. George sacrificed himself for his homeworld only for it to be in vain. Kat, the brains of the group, is killed with a shot to the head. Carter, the team leader, goes down with the ship, and Emil, the CQB expert, is stabbed. And Noble Six, the lone wolf, obviously dies as a lone wolf in the very last mission of the campaign. June's fate is the same way, as he's the sniper. He vanishes very far away, off-world, so this is all technically not ironic. It's more so fitting fates for each character, but whatever, still cool symbolism. Forerunners. The ancient alien empire that created the Halo rings, the Ark, shield worlds, and pretty much every shiny object you fight on in space before all perishing. Forerunner Flood War. Hundreds of thousands of years ago, the Forerunners entered a war with the Flood after the infection entered their controlled realm of the galaxy. This war is what led to the Forerunners activating the Halo rings to sacrifice themselves, taking the Flood with them out of desperation. Ancient Humans. Before the cavemen came the Ancient Humans, a spacefaring civilization that warred with the Flood, and soon the Forerunners, as they were kind of forced to as the Flood infection spread throughout their homeworlds. They also were beaten so bad by the Forerunners due to the whole three-way war thing that they were sent back to the Stone Age. Then they were nuked by the Halos. EVAC split screen glitch. In Halo Reach, if one equips Emil's unique skull-carved EVA helmet, occasionally the skull-carving texture itself would be removed and make the player wear a classic EVA helmet. I actually couldn't find anything about this glitch on the internet, I just remembered it myself, which is really weird. This unlocked a really ancient memory of mine. Halo Legends. Halo Legends is a collection of 7 short anime films set in the Halo universe that was released in 2010. Some of them are pretty cool. Most of them are kind of mid. Anyway, go check them out yourself. Destiny Awaits. In Halo 3 ODST, posters detailing the planned future Bungie looter shooter Destiny are pinned on walls throughout the campaign. These were since removed after 343 took over the Halo franchise. Yap Yap the Destroyer. Perhaps the most notable and longest living grunt in the Halo series. Yap Yap was a low-ranking deacon in the Covenant's Ministry of Sanitation, so basically he was a bit of an honorary custodian. He was kidnapped by the Banished, where he soon led grunts to rebel against Atriox. He appears throughout the series and is a playable leader in Halo Wars 2. Moa and Moa Burgers. The Moa are large, emu-like birds that inhabit the planet Reach. They're also a crucial ingredient for Moa burgers, which are advertised at food kiosks in New Alexandria. They also are the flavor of a limited-time Pringles can. Moa Burger Pringles once were sold to advertise Halo. I really wish I got the chance to try them though. The Logic Plague. The Logic Plague is a term that refers to the Flood's techniques to infect and corrupt artificial intelligence. Mendicant Bias was a Forerunner AI in charge of the Forerunners' defenses against the Flood until it went rampant, betrayed the Forerunners, and joined the Flood. Halo 3 ODST was rushed. I like Halo 3 ODST, but there are actually a lot of reports that came out during its development of a very rushed development. This explains the lack of multiplayer and underwhelming amount of content on display. Meg. In Halo CE, there is a hidden Easter egg as a gift from the lead designer to his girlfriend, Meg. If you combine Meg and Easter egg, you get Meg with 2 G's, hence the name. The Easter egg is simply a pool of blood in the shape of a heart on the ceiling of one of the rooms in the first mission, with their first initial drawn in bullet holes. How romantic. Rooster Teeth references. Throughout the Halo series, you can find several references to the creators of Red vs. Blue, Rooster Teeth. Just a few I remember off the top of my head are the Rooster Teeth themed vending machines in Halo 2, and the RVB cast voice actors making cameos throughout the Halo games. There are even references to this nearly 20-year-old show in Halo Infinite with the AI color lightish red, obviously calling back to the beloved pink character Donut. Halo Combat Evolved Beta 1749. This is an early beta build of Halo Combat Evolved. There appears to be a complete campaign and several multiplayer maps, mostly just with jank and missing or altered gameplay features and cutscenes. General Heed. This is another popular Halo YouTuber who investigates Easter eggs, glitches, and mysteries that populate the Halo series. You will see several of his video clips from his channel throughout the video. Go drop him a subscription for his efforts. Master Chief, you mind telling me what you're doing on that ship? This is a reference to Lord Hood's question to Master Chief in the final cutscene of Halo 2. Master Chief replies with the tagline, "Sir, finishing this fight," before the most ball-busting cliffhanger ending made Halo fans cry in 2004. It's also a bit of a meme, with some variations being produced to great effect.
Master Chief, you mind telling me what you're doing on that wall?
Sir, security camera.
Intel. This is an entry I added to the original iceberg that's linked in the description. Throughout the Halo games, alongside skulls are intel, terminals, and datapad collectibles that detail extra lore in the Halo universe. The most memorable one for me is the datapad on the first mission of Halo Reach on Legendary difficulty, which has you quickly chase down an invisible elite and kill him before he escapes. Intel even makes an appearance in Halo Infinite as playable audio logs. Current objectives survive. This refers to the final mission objective you receive on your HUD at the end of Halo Reach. As all had been done to stop the Covenant and get the Chief and Cortana off Reach, all that remains for Noble Six is to fight on until his eventual unfortunate death. It's become another sort of meme itself, popularized during the quarantine of 2020 onwards due to obvious reasons. BBC used the UNSC logo accidentally. If the news couldn't get any more embarrassingly lousy, here's a classic gem where the BBC referenced Halo by accident.
Scrutiny. First there was this.
Amnesty International has accused the United Nations of failing to show leadership to match the courage of protesters in Syria over the past year. In its annual report, Amnesty says the UN Security Council has...
Creepy Cortana glitch. This is a glitch in the Halo MCC that occurs in the final moments of Halo 2's legendary ending. After the cutscene fades to black, it glitches and fades back in with a model of Cortana from Halo 2 just standing there, menacingly, with missing face textures and silence.
All right. Shoot.
It's actually pretty unnerving. Official Halo 2 condoms. Yes, it's a Halo 2 promotional condom. I'm not making this up. New Alexandria Pelican. The Halo Infinite flyable Pelican glitch wasn't the first. In Halo Reach, on the mission New Alexandria, if a player performs a series of button presses and flies their Falcon through a hoop-shaped building, it would transform into a Pelican in an instant. The same effect occurs with a Banshee, but instead it becomes a flyable Phantom. I don't know how people found this Easter egg, but it's really cool. Office of Naval Intelligence, ONI. These guys are the intelligence branch of the UNSC Navy, but have since been up to some shady activity. This organization strays a little too far down the police state route, and in one case becomes the antagonists in the Hunt the Truth episodic podcast as they hunt down journalist Benjamin Giraud for prying a little too deep into ONI secrets. Tribute Room. In the mission The Package in Halo Reach, players can enter the Tribute Room. This is an Easter egg where once again secret buttons must be pressed that allow entry to Halsey's secret lab, which is decorated and adorned with several databases that serve as a thank you to fans and the Halo community as a whole. There are references of Red vs. Blue, Bungie.org, and more. This is perhaps the most wholesome Easter egg out there. References to Marathon. In many of the Bungie Halo games, there are references to a previous Bungie game called Marathon in the form of logos, insignias, and more. There are so many, we're only scratching the surface with these examples. Various Halo Flash games. With a franchise as popular as Halo, it seems obvious that fan-made interpretations would emerge. The early 2000s witnessed not just the rise of Halo, but concurrently the rise of Flash games hosted among various gaming sites, and these websites would end up hosting many inspired by the Halo series. Now we begin Level 2 Part 2. Halo Custom Edition. Halo Custom Edition is a version of Halo Combat Evolved for the PC. It's a free expansion for those who happen to own a Halo PC key, and it's completely free and open for download on the internet. The installation comes packaged with the Halo Editing Kit, which puts custom map development into the hands of modders. Halo CE Anniversary Trollface. In the first mission of the Halo CE Anniversary Remaster, you can find a troll face printed onto one of the electronic bulletin boards if you keep the updated graphics switched on. Undead Scarab Glitch. This is yet another obscure glitch to the point to where I didn't even know about this one at first. I'm confused that it's so high on this iceberg, but regardless, here goes. This glitch is on the Halo 3 mission, The Ark, and it involves destroying the Scarab before the player is normally intended to fight it. If done so correctly, when it enters the battlefield, it is a damaged, gutted Scarab missing half of its body, and after crawling into the battlefield, it just stands there. Sword Flying Glitch. This glitch is far more well known than the Undead Scarab one and is popularly used in Halo 2 by those who have mastered the art of the sword fly. In this glitch, all you need is a long-ranged weapon with a scope, such as a battle rifle, sniper, beam rifle, rocket launcher, or carbine, and an energy sword. Whenever a player scopes in on a distant enemy with their longer-ranged weapon, if the reticle turns red, if they press Y, then X, and then pull the trigger in quick succession, the game will bug out and believe the player to be wielding the sword while the reticle is red, initiating a sword lunge from the much longer ranges than the game is meant to allow. Banshees are now no longer required for flight. Halo 2 Super Jump. Adding to the bugginess of Halo 2 is yet another glitch where players can launch themselves into the air in a super jump by bugging out their character on map geometry. Halo Forge Infinite Budget Glitches. Halo's map editor mode Forge was infamous for its object and budget limits. Fortunately, some discovered how to unlock the budget in a glitch, allowing players to build with far more objects than they could before. Some of these glitched maps floated around on the file share, such as Halo Reach maps with thousands of Colosseum walls that covered the ocean in the map known as Drive or Die, or the maps where skyscrapers are constructed out of a glitched budget, a feat not possible in standard Forge gameplay due to the strict budget constraints. Killed by a traffic cone. Halo 3's physics engine is beautiful. If any object of massive size or momentum strikes a player, it has a chance to kill them instantly. Getting killed by random map geometry and scenery is rare, but still very possible. In this semi-viral clip from 15 years ago, a player has an unfortunate encounter with a traffic cone. Rocket Sloth. Rocket Sloth is a channel run by Elijah and Luke, two Halo fans that perform asinine tasks, such as attempting to beat every Halo game without dying, or without shooting, and more. They make a lot of great Halo videos, and I highly recommend you check them out. Your file mentioned this. This is a quote from Carter from Halo Reach. If you stare at him too long, the Noble team leader will assess the situation by telling you your file mentioned this, which is pretty hilarious, honestly. Arbiter cameo in Killer Instinct. In the fighting game Killer Instinct, specifically in the game's 3rd season, Halo's very own Arbiter was added into the game as a fighter. His attacks include use of his Covenant Carbine, plasma grenades, energy sword, and more. You can actually play as either the gilded Halo 5 Arbiter or the classic silver-clad Arbiter from the first few Halo games. Unfortunately, he isn't voiced by the original voice talent, Keith David, but you can customize him with all sorts of armor pieces from the Halo universe, so that's actually pretty cool. 343 Guilty Spark survived Halo 3. Yup, apparently he survived. After getting blasted like 4 times by a Spartan laser and exploding alongside the Ark, he managed to get found by a human ship, where he obliged to work with them before taking control of the ship to find the Librarian. This is yet another Halo character that dies in gameplay before being brought back in the books once again. Pillar of Autumn's bridge inconsistency. Alright, get on your tinfoil hats, everybody. How do you explain this, Bungie? George saying mom or ma'am discrepancy. This is a confusing line for many as George's accent muddies up the words a little bit. When George addresses Halsey in one scene after the mission Oni Sword Base, it sounds like he's calling her mom, which confused a lot of players, or some believed him to actually be her son, and others reading into it as if she's their surrogate mother of sorts because she created the Spartan program, but the official transcript from the cutscene actually lists him as saying ma'am on Halopedia. So, there we go. Mystery solved. Chips Dubbo. Chips Dubbo is an Australian Marine that appears in Halo CE through 3. Chips has a very recognizable accent that no doubt every Halo fan would recognize, and he is one of the few survivors to escape the battle and destruction of the first Halo ring. He joined Chief from the Battle of Earth to the fight on Delta Halo, and ultimately all the way through the Battle of the Ark. He's pretty much everywhere in Halo lore, to the point to where it's actually hilarious how much this guy shows up. He ended up surviving the war, where he admits to interviewers that he and Chief were best mates and in regular contact. What a lad. Alert carry. This is the fancy term for putting your weapon down. This alert carry allowed players to lower their weapons for interacting in non-threatening ways, which is perfect for characters within machinimas. This feature has been included within the games since Halo 2. Halo Infinite removing bullet ricochet. Sadly, the devs of Infinite removed sniper rifle bullet ricochet before release. Webos is the name of an Easter egg cereal brand that can be found in Halo 3 ODST. Inscribed on the bottom of the cereal box is written, "Your mom loves them." Which is funny because huevos sounds a lot like huevos, which in Spanish is slang for nuts, so that's why your mom can't get enough of them. Fall damage reduction tricks. These exploits are used to prevent death at great fall distances. By sliding off of a corner or crouching before impact, you can prevent fall damage deaths in Halo CE and 2. Valhalla wall sigils. Similar to the Zanzibar holiday signs, Halo 3's map Valhalla has several wall etchings that correspond to certain holidays. Cursed Halo is perhaps the most famous Halo mod of all time. Created by Inferno Plus, this is a complete Halo CE overhaul that adds weapons, enemies, vehicles, maps, and more to make Halo extremely cursed. My personal favorite addition of the mod is the D20 frag grenade, and my playthrough of Cursed Halo actually kicked off this channel. PC ports before MCC. Halo CE and Halo 2 for the longest time were the only computer ports for Halo until the Master Chief Collection ported most of the franchise to PC. Halo fans on PC were unfortunately out of options during their wait after Halo 2. This is also the reason why most of the popular Halo mods are for the first two games in the series. Fortunately, it seems to be turning around where Halo 3 and Halo Reach are even getting more mods nowadays due to the release of their mod tools. Funny, but I dream in English. This is an Easter egg phrase from Halo Reach. Sleeping grunts will occasionally utter this, which is odd considering that they don't speak English in Reach, but they do in games that take place in the future of the series. They put the mamster cheft in the soda. Didact survived Halo 4. Despite falling into space and getting obliterated by a nuclear bomb, the Didact actually survived Halo 4, where Chief and Blue Team took him out again using multiple composers, and he survived that too. Well, his digital form, I suppose. He was imprisoned in the domain before getting confirmed to still be back and alive in another Halo book. I have no idea why, but they just won't let this guy die. Halo 2 Desert Bus. In Penn and Teller's 1995's unreleased video game Desert Bus, players must complete a drive from Tucson, Arizona to Las Vegas, Nevada as a bus driver. The only catch? This is done in real time, and the bus max speed is locked at a dismal 45 miles per hour. The drive takes a straight 8 hours, and the wheel is constantly tilting the bus off-road, so a player must be attentive and keep it on track. The game also can't be paused, and if you veer off-road, you have to wait to get towed back all the way to the start. Mimicking this boring, empty drive comes a Halo 2 mod, once again created by Inferno Plus. Desert Warthog involves two teams racing across a behemoth of a desert map on a straight road in order to capture the enemy team's flag. If they die, they spawn all the way back at base. The drive to the enemy base takes around an hour. Club Aurora. This Halo Reach Easter egg is on the mission New Alexandria. Switches are situated on top of two of the skyscrapers, and when activated, Halo Easter egg songs will play in the nightclub Aurora, and the Covenant occupiers will begin raving and dancing inside. One of the brutes will even play DJ at the top of the stairs. 13 Dead Spartans. On the final mission of Halo Reach, there are 13 dead Spartans that litter the battlefield. These bodies are adjacent to some useful equipment and weapons that make it easier to survive longer until the Covenant ultimately kill you. They were seemingly meant to defend the shipyard as the Pillar of Autumn made an escape, and this is the only place in the game where you can find dead Spartans in the campaign, which indicates how grim the outcome for the Battle of Reach had become. The wild thing about these Spartans is that their armor is randomized each time. Playing as a grunt on Outskirts. In the Halo 2 mission Outskirts, you can bug the game out to respawn your co-op partner as a grunt, and they may play as a grunt. This wild glitch is something I wish I knew about sooner. Installation 00. Installation 00 is a Halo lore and theory channel, popularized for their very extensive breakdown videos. Go check them out if you love Halo lore. AI battle videos. Halo has a diverse list of enemy and friendly NPCs. Using mods, players have managed to pit these AIs against each other in fights for videos, like this one done by GameCheat13. Double Rainbow. In the Halo 4 level Reclaimer, players can witness a double rainbow. Kelly Gay. Kelly Gay is a novel writer who has worked on some of Halo's stories, and she wrote the novel Halo Renegades as well as parts of the Halo extended universe. Swordless Gold Elite. General Heed returns again to inform us all on a glitch where you can de-sword a Gold Elite in Halo CE. Halo the Endless. A trademark, Halo the Endless, was filed by Microsoft, and because of that, speculation videos and theories post-Halo Infinite popped up where fans believed Halo the Endless to actually be either the sequel game to Halo Infinite or a campaign expansion, with a focus on the new Endless species that was teased at the end of Halo Infinite's campaign. The trademark ended up being opposed by an indie dev studio as their new upcoming title, Endless Dungeon, was on the way. John Unishek, or Uni, is the community manager at 343 Industries. He takes part in community playdates and appears on the Halo YouTube channel and Halo update videos. Elite vs Spartan hitboxes in multiplayer. With the introduction of playable elites came new player character models, and because of this, elites are larger targets with a larger hitbox to boot, though they do get some advantages, such as health regeneration and Halo Reach. Extinction. Extinction is the most popular and most downloaded map for Halo Custom Edition according to HaloMaps.com, which is a Halo map download site that has existed for years now. This is a massive map that is dominated by vehicle gameplay. These vehicles can be used to dart around the wreckage of a crashed UNSC ship and a disabled Covenant cruiser that were locked in battle. I was surprised by this, as Huge Ass was my guess for the most downloaded map, but it is in fact the second most popular on the site. Johnson is immune to the Flood misconception. After the Flood outbreak began overwhelming the Covenant facility on Installation 04, it was surprising to see Johnson make it out alive and survive to see Halos 2 and 3. In the novel Halo First Strike, it was explained that plasma grenade radiation gave Johnson a condition known as Boren syndrome, which simply rendered him immune to Flood infection. This was later retconned, where Bungie later altered the lore, stating that Boren syndrome is a made-up disease, somewhat of a cover-up for Johnson and the other Spartan 1's Orion augmentations. It has since been established that Johnson is not immune to the Flood, but instead managed to fight his way out of the facility successfully with a handful of survivors. This discrepancy in the lore has since caused a lot of confusion in the fanbase. Slipspace Entertainment is a Halo YouTube meme channel, perhaps the most popular one out there too. The Sharkoi are an alien species in Halo lore that aren't seen in any of the games. This species was originally known as the Drenol. They were cut from Halo CE back when it was a third-person shooter. They were later implemented in lore where they became biomechanically altered creatures that were purpose-built to fight the Flood as the Forerunners were becoming more desperate during the Forerunner Flood War. They were able to be mind-controlled, yet the Covenant kept running into trouble when they were trying to mind-control the Sharkoi themselves during the Human-Covenant War. The Sharkoi were almost successfully used by the Covenant in several deployments, but they ended up never making it into combat. The humans instead nuked all of their hives to prevent them from ever being a threat. Now we move to Level 2 Part 3. Halo Infinite Forge bans. Halo Infinite Forge is the most powerful tool in the series. After being added to the game in the Halo Infinite Winter Update, Forgers began instantly publishing maps of all kinds with impressive levels of detail. The object limit is substantially high, and there are numerous scripts and special effects that can be added to a map to enhance its quality. In late 2022, controversy over the mode hit the mainstream. A few players were temporarily banned from the Forge mode for publishing custom-made maps that were deemed inappropriate for the online Halo Infinite community. One player constructed a marijuana bong prop, and another made a graphic scene using body props and creatively morbid ways. At the end of the day, 343 Industries did release the game as a T for Teen rated game, and they did have a responsibility to protect that side of the community that's younger. But some argue that these temporary bans are excessive, and that these Forge creations are harmless to the general audience. My opinion, while I appreciate creative freedom, this is 343's game and they have a right to moderate it however they see fit. I see both sides here, and it is a bit overkill considering past Halo games are far less strict over Forge content. Maybe just removing the maps and then, like, mentioning the rule would have been better, but this is just my opinion. I'll leave the rest up to you. Horatius. During the boss fight against the Harbinger in Halo Infinite, waves of banished infantry rushed the player from doors throughout the arena. On the final wave, a brute chieftain equipped with a gravity hammer will join into the fray. The most wild thing is that he's a named character in Halo canon, named Horatius, before he is killed by the player. Cloning Sergeant Johnson. On the final mission of Halo 2, you can squeeze Spectres through the roadblocks that lead to the Tartarus boss fight. If Johnson boards one of your Spectres, another copy of Johnson will spawn in. This will repeat until you have run out of space in the Spectres, or if the glitch randomly stops working on its own. This glitch is wildly powerful, but awesome, as you can employ an army of Johnsons, but I don't know why it's at level 2 in the iceberg. I never have seen this in my life. Yo-Yo Rast Island. This is a Halo Custom Edition modded map with over 250,000 downloads. It features mongoose racing and capture the flag on a massive island full of racetracks and structures. The best part is this 2006 released promo video of the map, which you are watching right now. The modder's description of the map is very wholesome too. They explain they spent over a year creating it, in part because they were learning how to model alongside some modders who helped them out with it, and didn't understand the Halo editing kit as it isn't translated into French. Lo and behold, the map was finished despite these challenges. Blam Engine. The Blam Engine is a game engine produced by Bungie for use in their video games. Elements of Blam could be seen in Bungie's early 90s games, such as Pathways into Darkness and Marathon, but the engine would reach its full implementation and potential with its use in the Halo games. Several engines are offshoots of the Blam Engine as well, including Halo Infinite's Slip Space engine, as well as the Tiger engine, running on Bungie's own Destiny series. Sprint Discourse. This has been perhaps the most contentious argument between Halo fans. Starting back in Halo Reach when sprinting was added as an armor ability, many refused to see Halo movement mechanics allow the use of running at higher speeds, or sprinting that is, as they believed it would ruin the solid Halo gameplay cycle. Sprint was introduced fully starting in Halo 4, where the battle continues between fans who prefer sprint and those who do not. Halo Infinite probably did it best. Sprint only offers a minor speed boost, which is a nice happy medium between both arguing camps, and actually works really well within Halo Infinite's core gameplay. Grunt Rebellion. This event is mentioned in Halo 2, but appears only in the expanded universe. Also known as the Ungoi Rebellion, this was a full-blown revolt by the Grunts against the Covenant Empire in 2462. Unlike some of the other races, Grunts were assimilated into the Covenant by force, rather than by religious devotion. It all began when the quickly growing Grunt population on the Covenant Holy City, High Charity, inadvertently began pushing Jackals out of their homes and led to an overall decline in the population amongst Jackals. Radical Jackal leaders then coordinated the poisoning of Grunt narcotic supplies as a form of revenge, which made Grunt males sterile. Due to the failure of Covenant courts to exact justice in favor of the Grunts, Grunts attacked the other Covenant races across High Charity in a full-blown rebellion. The sheer number of Grunts made the ensuing fires of conflict difficult for the Covenant to get under control. As the Covenant grew desperate, they appointed a new arbiter, and under his leadership, they began glassing population centers on the Grunt homeworld of Balaho. This forced the Grunts to surrender, but due to the political disaster that caused the event, Grunts were absolved of crimes committed during the rebellion. Grunts were also given numerous privileges due to gaining newfound respect from elites in the Covenant ranks, as they respected the Grunts' tenacity in battle and warrior spirit. They gave Grunts access to Covenant weaponry for the first time, as they previously were used as unarmed Grunts in conflict. Despite these changes, they remained as inferior citizens until the dissolution of the Covenant. Dead Spartans are listed as missing in action. Canonically in Halo, when Spartan 2s are killed, they are listed either as wounded in action or missing in action to build the illusion that Spartans never die. This is an attempt to bolster morale of UNSC forces. Brawlhalla cameo. The Arbiter and Master Chief joined the fighting game Brawlhalla as playable characters in July of 2023. They come complete with their own weapons and equipment from the Halo universe. Master Chief is a DJ. This is a reference to the fact that Steve Downes, the voice actor of the Master Chief, was also a DJ, with a full 44-year run in the radio business. He retired from the radio business in 2015. John Halo. Halo fans like to call Master Chief as John Halo as a meme sometimes. Considering he is named John and is the face of the Halo series, it makes sense. This is also probably in part due to the meme that I mentioned earlier, the one that called Master Chief Halo, when it said Halo is a cool guy that doesn't afraid of anything. Main menu idle trailers. I forgot these existed. In Halo Combat Evolved, if you left the game on the main menu for too long, a series of Halo trailer-styled videos would play until the player touched the controller again. This is a feature implemented into a lot of older games, and is no longer a tradition followed by modern games. There is also a trailer in Halo 2, and they stopped being added to this series in Halo 3. Halo 5 Hidden Rec Weapons. Here is another entry I've added. Throughout the Halo 5 campaign, secret, powerful variants of numerous weapons in the game that are normally available in Halo 5 Warzone through the use of rec cards are available for pickup in secret stashes that make the campaign easier and give treasure hunters something to look for. Cole Protocol. This is a UNSC top-level directive enacted by Admiral Preston Cole. The Cole Protocol forbids any allowance of Covenant acquisition of information on the location of Earth or the inner colonies of human space. Retreating UNSC ships may not return to human population centers as well. This protocol was successful until October 20th, 2552, when the Covenant invaded Earth in Halo 2 in search of the Ark. Moving on to level 3. Bungie wanted to end Halo on 2. Marty O'Donnell described that Halo 2 was originally not supposed to end on a cliffhanger, but see the Master Chief and the Arbiter team up on Earth to destroy the Ark of the Covenant. In a Game Rant article, he is quoted as saying, "We just couldn't finish the plan. It was just impossible, so everything got rejiggered and we had the cliffhanger to end all cliffhangers." This change is obvious considering the hellish development that Halo 2 went through, with the game we got barely being finished in time for launch. Cancel Halo MMO. Prior to the dissolution of Ensemble Studios, it has been revealed that workers at the company were quietly developing an MMO game codenamed Titan, which was going to be set in the Halo universe. This sadly ended up getting cancelled, leaving us with images of the unfinished game as all that remain. It makes sense that they would be making a Halo MMO in the mid-2000s, as World of Warcraft popularized the genre and became a bit of a gravy train, and Halo might have had the opportunity to jump on that market as well. It'd be interesting to peek into an alternate universe to see how this game would have actually ended up had it been created. Finally, we're getting into some of the weirder entries. Halo 2's marketing campaign included a mysterious website that served as a front for an alternate reality game known as ilovebees.com, a corrupted beekeeper website, several payphone calls, some Halo expanded universe lore, and a map full of real-world marked coordinates. Participants in the alternate reality mystery were ultimately granted an early playtest of Halo 2 before its release. Players involved in solving the ARG ended up communicating with actors on designated payphones who were playing characters set up in the Halo universe to progress the story and solve the mystery. It's kind of cool that there was a time when the Halo universe could be experienced in real life, and when I first found this site as a kid, it kind of spooked me. The site is still up today as well. Go check it out. Halo 3 was an allegory of the Iraq War. This entry refers to a talking point and theory that Halo 3 is an allegory that mirrors the US invasion of Iraq and the geopolitical situation in the Middle East in the early to mid-2000s. It makes sense people would begin discussing about this topic, as around the launch of Halo 3, the conflicts in the Middle East were forefront in the news cycle. This is a fairly controversial topic to compare the Halo games to, and the talking point only really exists due to some similarities in the plot. Here are the connections some people have made. The events in the Halo series involve a Western-styled military fighting against a zealous religious army, who are in this case the Covenant, who wishes to see the destruction of the Western-styled human civilization. The religious army also goes through a schism that leads to the Covenant's civil war between the elites and brutes, complicating the Covenant's war efforts, which can be compared to the schism that occurred in the Middle East that led to a Cold War in the region. A Time article on the subject discredits the theory by stating that Halo as a series began years before the invasion of Iraq, and I must say these facets of Halo's story seem to just be cherry-picked coincidences. Just because two things seem similar doesn't mean that one is attempting to reference the other. It also is a very controversial topic, going so far to the point to where I generalize things a lot. So I doubt Bungie would try to tell this story or take such a large risk with their audience, especially because, after all, Halo is just a video game meant to entertain. Sangheili's love letter to Palmer. Back to the funny ones. In Halo 5, several pieces of intel are hidden throughout the campaign. In the Swords of Sanghelios camp, the player can find this intel.
Erase previous recording, begin new recording. I saw you standing at your ship, with armored hand on armored hip. Both my hearts began to pound. So lovely was what I found. I love your brightly shining armor, human named Commander Palmer. I wish that we... What are you doing here, Grunt? What are you laughing at? I will tear up your arms!
The character who wrote this is named Vel Troycake. What an absolute chad. The Green Door. In the Halo 2 mission Sacred Icon, there's a mist-textured green Forerunner door. Now, while it may seem like a glitch, and it most likely is just a glitched texture, it could be intentional. It might be a reference to a restaurant named the Green Door located near Bungie's old studio, but this connection is a bit of a stretch in my opinion. The Mantle of Responsibility. This is a Forerunner philosophy that refers to a designation bestowed upon a civilization by the Precursors, a more advanced, almost godlike race. If a species retains the mantle, they were the de facto superior species in the galaxy and were responsible with tending to all life throughout the cosmos. The Forerunners were originally granted this badge of honor, until the Precursors gave it to the ancient humans, which led to the Forerunners leading a genocide against the Precursors.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI creation platform. Describe what you want, and watch it take shape. You can plan, customize, and expand in any direction. From tools built for one, to platforms ready for many. From passion projects to enterprise-grade systems. Everything is built in and ready to launch. It's a new world of creation, where you can go as far as your imagination takes you. Can you imagine it? Let's make your dream a reality, right now.
Food nipple. Apparently, the food nipple that the thirsty grunt from Halo CE was making a ruckus about is actually canon. Grunts are fed blue liquid from legit tubes as if they were hamsters, and it seems to be one of the few solaces in their miserable lives, even though it seems they just tolerate it. I actually feel bad for the grunts now. Cortana got infected by the Logic Plague. This is a theory that Cortana suddenly becoming a villain in Halo 5 was more easily explained by her time spent locked up and tortured by the Gravemind. It appears that the Gravemind's attempts at infecting her with the Logic Plague may have been successful, leading her to go rampant in Halo 4 and revolt against all life in Halo 5, and as detailed in Halo Infinite using the Forerunner's Guardians. This would help solve the issues of Halo 5 and Infinite's narratives if the theory were true, as her turning evil all of a sudden was quite jarring. Fake worm leak. After Halo Reach, an image of a worm monster facing the Master Chief was leaked and was speculated to be a leak of Halo 4. For years it polluted Halo 4 speculation videos where fans were excited to fight alien wildlife across a new world in Halo. But it turns out the leak is fake and was just a fan-produced image. I actually remember falling for this picture myself when I was 11 or so, but of course, it's not real, it was a fan render. This is a classic spooky campfire story for Halo fans of old. I remember the tall tales of video game ghosts spreading around the early internet like wildfire. One of the most popular ones was the Ghost of Lockout. In the desolate Arctic cliff map Lockout, a player encountered a nameless entity, sliding up and down the map's ramps and hallways. Any attempts of killing this player were fruitless, and it had no trouble taking out players with lethal precision and game-breaking cheats. The popularity of this myth exploded when many more players reported running into the Ghost of Lockout, where they captured footage of the same behavior of this entity. It is unknown if this is just a glitch, or as to what is causing it to this day. Further down this iceberg, we'll be getting to the bottom of the ghosts of Halo. Didact confirmed alive by coloring book. In the Halo Adult coloring book, which is by far my favorite oxymoron, it is confirmed that the Didact is not dead, but instead imprisoned in the domain. What a meme. Crazy Marine in 343 Guilty Spark. This is in reference to the Marine that's suffering a mental breakdown after his encounter with the Flood. His entire squad infected and reanimated by the Flood, he somehow escaped where you can find him against a wall. If you get too close, he'll shoot at you with his pistol as he's gone so mad he thinks you're the enemy.
Stay back! Stay back! You're not turning me into one of those things! I'll blow your brains out! Get away from me! Don't touch me, you freaks!
Although the mission forces you to encounter this Marine, it's not exactly like a well-kept secret. It is certainly one of the creepier details that many people overlook from Halo. Secret Mangled Elites, Halo 1. In Halo Combat Evolved, on the 343 Guilty Spark mission, a Mangled Elite can be seen in a cutscene, teasing the release of the Flood. In Halo Anniversary, you can actually get to this body in gameplay through an exploit, but normally it isn't supposed to appear as the Flood should have taken his body. Dot Fortune. In the Xbox version of Halo Combat Evolved, if you name a profile .fortune, a random Easter egg phrase will appear on screen. This comes from a joke embedded within Bungie.net's Myth meta server. Additionally, if you rename a map variant on Halo 3 or Reach .fortune, you'll get a message saying, "My modem is on fire. I have walked among men and angels for 3,000 years." A creepy hidden message can be heard in the Mausoleum Suite track from Halo 2's original soundtrack if the song is played in reverse. It was argued that this was the inner monologue of the Arbiter, but it is now theorized that this is the voice of Mendicant Bias, the Forerunner military AI that defected to the Flood. Scrapped Halo 2 Warthog Run. At the end of Halo 2's Gravemind mission, scrapped sections of map have been uncovered that reveal a Warthog Run was planned, similar to that of Halo CE's ending. This would likely have the Master Chief drive along a track against a timer to reach the key ship before it escapes. Warthog runs have only been seen in Halo CE and Halo 3, and now there is a mod that recovers this mission which allows players to experience the scrapped Halo 2 Warthog run for the first time. Soccer Ball. This is another entry I've added. In between Griff Ball, soccer balls, and golf club items in Forge, Halo is no stranger to sports. The first soccer ball in the series was in Halo 2, and it's an oversized soccer ball Easter egg that you can find and play with that is hidden on the Halo 2 campaign mission Metropolis. Halo 2's troubled development. As mentioned earlier, this is in reference to the overworked staff at Bungie who developed Halo 2 in rushed and very difficult conditions. It's honestly amazing this game released working at that rate. The Precursors. In Halo lore, the Precursors are an ancient and highly advanced alien race that had godlike powers. They were the ones who redesignated the humans as the holders of the Mantle of Responsibility, which frustrated the Forerunners greatly. Origins of the Flood. After the Forerunners decimated the Precursors in the ensuing war due to being picked second as the Precursors' favorite species, the remaining Precursors converted themselves into dust to prolong their existence. Some of the Precursor dust became corrupted, which was found in glass cylinders on Earth by ancient humans. The humans' pets began to snack on this dust, which slowly mutated them into monsters and led to the Flood outbreak that would end in the eradication of the Forerunners. Halo Chronicles. This is a cancelled Halo game from 2006 that was in development until eventual cancellation in 2009. It was developed by Wingnut Interactive, a studio built from elements of Microsoft Game Studios and director Peter Jackson of all people. The game would focus more on a narrative story, which in part explains why director Jackson was involved on it. The gameplay involved the player taking control of a lowly marine or human miner who ended up in Covenant captivity, where they make contact with a Forerunner weapon that slowly evolves them into a powerful Forerunner warrior known as the Promethean. Of course, since this was the early 2000s, this has no relation to the Halo 4 and 5 Prometheans. The project was dropped after the Halo film deal with Peter Jackson fizzled out. Parts of the game's mechanics would end up in Halo 3 ODST, Halo 3 Secret Elite. In the Halo 3 mission, The Covenant, an unarmed elite can be found just chilling in the snow. Dead Talking Elite, Halo 2. In the Halo 2 mission Uprising, you will encounter the bodies of some elites that were killed by brutes. .ass file. .ass, or Amalgam Scene Specification, is a source file type from Halo 2. Modders have since discovered that during map creation, since the map files would export from 3ds Max as .ass files, if they encountered an error converting it into game levels, they would be graced with a special .ass error. This resulted in Halo 2 Vista receiving the coveted partial nudity warning, since a Bungie employee's master cheeks are on full display, hidden within the source code. Genius. The 3 Dead Grunts. This strange hidden mystery is a collection of 3 dead grunts at the bottom of a pit in the Halo CE mission Assault on the Control Room. These are actually just grunts that had been teleported from the playing area to their death as a resourceful method of garbage collection. Wallace Jenkins. This is a Marine that became partially infected during the initial outbreak of the Flood on Installation 04, and is also the one who owned the helmet that recorded the classic Flood reveal helmet cam cutscene. Jenkins' Flood infection was luckily partially ineffective, as he still retained partial control over his body, but this didn't stop his life from becoming a living hell. After getting interrogated by some fellow Marines, he ended up taking part in an operation to hijack the Covenant ship, the Truth and Reconciliation. Jenkins intended to destroy the starship, as he personally knew the threat that the Flood posed to humanity if they managed to get control over a spacefaring vessel. Alongside an ODST, they managed to destroy the ship to eradicate the Flood on board along with Jenkins himself. He thanked the ODST for assisting in ending his suffering. Maginot Line, Forerunner. The real Maginot Line was a heavily defensive line of fortifications along the Franco-German border that in theory would stop a German attack into France, which was thwarted in World War II when the Germans simply went around it. In Halo, this was the name given to the Forerunner defensive line that was set to protect the inner colonies of Forerunner space. Despite their best efforts, this was eventually breached by the Flood. Master Chief's full name. The Chief's full name is not known. We know his first name is John, and that's as far as it gets. The rest is a mystery. Bungie regrets calling Halo Combat Evolved. This is possibly in reference to the subtitle of Halo being designed to attract shooter fans by including the word combat within it. Halo at the time was perhaps too vague, and didn't allude to a military sci-fi shooter. The original title for the game was set to just be Halo. Minstrel Chief. In the 2008 released open-world RPG Fable 2, players can acquire Hal's outfit if they bought the limited edition of the game. Now, it may not be so obvious to at first, but if we slide an O over... Yeah, you see? You can also obtain Energy Sword and Assault Rifle inspired weapons in the game. If a player dons this outfit, they are thus known by the community as a Minstrel Chief. HaloSpawns.com. This is a website that is strangely not just still up, but also really impressive. It's an immersive simulation tool that teaches players the functionality and respawn mechanics in Halo CE team play. Some of Halo CE's best maps are present here, along with some fan-made ones that must have been popular in the competitive scene. This site is like a hidden gem, and I'm honestly still shocked that it still remains up.
Did I do something wrong? Because the only thing I regret about you and me, not knowing you were a spook when we first met.
In Halo 3 ODST, Buck calls Dara Spook, which is slang for a military secret agent, but used in a different context is unfortunately a really offensive slur. This left some players confused and bewildered as not everyone knows the meaning of this term in a military context. Halo 3 Delta build. This is an early build of Halo 3 that holds cut weapons and rough around the edges content. It's a modder's playground. Master Chief's secret face in Halo 3. In the Halo 3 beta, Spartans bizarrely have a human face modeled within their helmet. It is unknown why it was implemented or whose face is modeled for this. Perhaps it was used to properly model the helmets in a correct scale to prevent the Halo Infinite shrunk recon helmet effect. Haloid. Haloid is an intense and well-animated fight scene between Samus from Metroid and the Master Chief from Halo. The main man behind this production was Monty Oum, the same fight animator and choreographer behind the fight scenes in RVB Season 8 through 10. Neural physics is the highest point of technological advancement ever obtained in the galaxy within the Halo universe. It's a merging of philosophical and scientific studies, where it is understood that the entire Milky Way galaxy is living, and that it could be manipulated through the understanding of this concept, and with one that has enough knowledge to do so. The precursors were transient beings, utilizing this technology for creation and transportation. And when they were destroyed by the Forerunners, the Flood hive mind amassed enough collective knowledge to interact with and weaponize the leftover neural physics artifacts to attack the Forerunners in the Flood Forerunner War. They had essentially outpaced the Forerunners' technological state. But because the Forerunners discovered that the Halos, in their targeting of sentient neurological life forms, would destroy neural physics artifacts and productions when fired, it is now known that through the firing of the Halo rings, nearly all, if not all, of these neural physics artifacts were destroyed. Stopping the train in Terminal. In Halo 2, a DLC map, Terminal, centers around a train that rushes up and down the map and roadkills players. It has long been theorized whether this indestructible force of nature could be stopped. General Heed managed to defeat this lord of a locomotive by spawning in a whole battalion of elites in Halo 2 MCC, which bugged out the train and stopped it from spawning by overloading the game. The theory rings true this time around, but it requires a bit of modding. Halo 2 Mario Death Sound. This Easter egg occurs in Halo 2 when the player is killed. It is apparently rare. I mean, I've never heard it myself, so it is likely not very common. Rex. In Halo CE and Halo 2, writing in the form of blood can be found spelling out Rex in a few areas throughout the campaign. This is a reference to a Bungie programmer's username, Ferrix, and was added by Tyson Green, the holder of this Rex tag. SpongeBob's house is in Halo 2. Boom, there it is. Various human businesses within the games. There are tons of canonical human businesses littering the Halo campaign levels and multiplayer maps. Optican's Medical Supplies, Franck Seafood, Mizraya Armory, and Traxxas Industrial Equipment are some of the ones I recall the most. Harmless Jackal. In the Halo Reach mission Winter Contingency, the player can find a harmless secret jackal. This is the same jackal that leaps across the level to tease the Covenant's arrival for the player. Halo Online. This is a multiplayer-focused Halo game developed by Saber Interactive and Innova Systems in collaboration with 343. A closed alpha test began in 2015 in Russia exclusively, where it was cancelled in 2016. This was a direct sequel to Halo 3, and ran on the Halo 3 engine with new weapons, vehicles, maps, playable elites, and customization. This eventually leaked as a mod known as El Dorito, and was one of the few places to play modern Halo games on PC at the time in 2018. The Sandwich. Here's another one I added to the iceberg. In Halo Infinite's campaign world, there is a giant sandwich hidden in the map surrounded by static, worshipping grunts. The Rookie's real name. The ODST character you play as in Halo 3 ODST, the Rookie, is actually named Jonathan Doherty, as revealed in the Halo Encyclopedia. So the Rookie is quite literally a voiceless John Doe. Oh, Mr. Chief. This is a joke character based on the Master Chief that was created by Frank O'Connor and appeared in Bungie weekly updates. It has since become a staple of the franchise as cosmetics marking material, Easter eggs, and even a selectable AI in Halo Infinite. Arby and the Chief. Not quite as popular as Red vs. Blue, Arby and the Chief is a web series that surrounds action figures from the franchise going on dopey adventures while being dubbed over by text-to-speech robots. I added this one to the Berg as well because it kinda needs to be here. It's a big piece of Halo culture.
I see you bought the heroic map pack.
Yeah, I used John's credit card.
Who's John?
The human that lives here with me.
I see. Do you think the maps were worth $10?
Yeah, who doesn't have $10? I wipe my ass with $10.
Now we move into Level 3 Part 2. Cut Halo CE missions. Halo CE's campaign was originally supposed to be 40 whole missions, before it was slimmed down to 25 missions, and finally, the 10 missions we ended up getting. There are other cut missions from the other Halo games, but they aren't quite in the same numbers as Halo CE's cut missions. Microsoft's Sam and the Covenant. In this Easter egg, you can hear the text-to-speech robotic voice of Microsoft's Sam. Sam reads out a few phrases insulting Bungie employees and spouting general tomfoolery in the mission The Covenant from Halo 3. At the end of the level, after you destroy the Scarabs, if you wait on the right side ledge of the Citadel for a while, Sam will begin speaking.
Happy Easter, Marty. I am a monument to all Marty's sins. LOL.
This isn't the only Easter egg on the Citadel, as the left ledge plays the Easter egg track Siege of Madrigal. And you may have noticed that this voice is the same as the Chief's voice from Arby and the Chief. Time Travel Glitch. The Time Travel Glitch is a pretty major exploit in Halo 3. On both the Ark and the Covenant missions, if you perform various tricks involving driving up cliff faces outside of the map, a series of things will break, including enemy spawns and more. Players will have the opportunity to go back in time in the Ark from before the Scarab tank battle, and in the mission The Covenant, they will have the opportunity to go back in time to the third tower from near the end of the mission. Basically, you can break the entire level and sequence of events that occur within it to find secret rooms and more. Grunt in a Barrel. This is a Halo Reach Easter egg on the multiplayer map Penance. If you build a bowl out of objects and forge at the base of the waterfall, a grunt inside of a barrel will drop into the bowl from the waterfall. For some reason, it doesn't have a mask and looks kinda creepy. Master Chief's Autojacker.
Master Chief, you mind telling me what you're posting on Twitter?
My main issue with Master Chief fucks Cortana is if you read the Halo novels, you'd know the spacesuit automatically jacks Master Chief off.
Covenant Fringe. The Covenant Fringe are all of the alien races that, while under the Covenant's control, aren't fully integrated or employed in the ranks of the Covenant military. These races include the Yonhet, Dazrim, and more, and were mostly just tolerated by the Covenant, but not useful for combat by any means. In the Yonhet's case, they weren't used in combat as their population was far too small to perpetuate a long drawn-out conflict. Skipping Cortana moments. In Halo 3, there are multiple intrusive, well, let's just call them Cortana moments, where Cortana calls you from beyond the curtain to tell you how much she misses you. Speedrunners use certain tricks to skip these cutscenes altogether, since they are really long and slow down the player significantly. Power armor is for pussies. And the universally panned 2011 shooter, Duke Nukem Forever, a subtle reference to Halo is included within the game. I'm going to show you a video of this scene, and some of you more eagle-eyed players might just barely be able to catch it.
Time to move on. Duke, we've got your green power armor over here and ready to go.
Power armor is for pussies.
Well, okay. You want a gun instead?
Duke Nukem Forever was ironically and unfortunately the last game in the franchise that was once a Hallmark classic boomer shooter. Unfortunately, a shaky development cycle plagued the final game's release. Games stuck in development hell rarely escape without a multitude of issues. Halo Reach test maps. In both Halo 3 and Reach, similar test maps have been found hidden within the game files. These test maps were used as developer playgrounds to simulate and test lighting, materials, textures, assets, and more. Why am I here? This is an Easter egg on the map Beaver Creek in Halo Master Chief Collection. Engraved on a cliff wall is a reference to the iconic first conversation in Red vs. Blue between Griff and Simmons. Radio conversations from Halo Reach. Throughout Reach's multiplayer and firefight maps, radios can be found hidden in secret locations, and upon playing these radios you can hear various background characters in Reach telling the untold stories behind Reach's fall.
Beta Red may be tough as hell, but I don't know how long they'll be able to tie up 2 armored divisions.
Say again, Gamma. Over.
I said Beta Red may be tough as hell, but... Oh my god!
Gamma 1 actual. We lost you. Say again. Over.
Iron Fist, this is Gamma 1 actual. 3 Covenant cruisers just dropped out of the clouds directly above us, holding at approximately 20,000 feet, traveling due east at approximately...
These are some really interesting bonuses for lore fans, and it is interesting to hear characters that were caught up in the war discussing flight instructions and more. Isolation Flood Infection. The Halo 3 map Isolation has a bit of a flood problem. The upper side of the map is a dull, sickly forest beset by Forerunner walls on all sides. If you wander into the lower level caves of the map, you'll find the reason for the dismal appearance of the forest. The caves are completely covered in flood biomass, and if players wait long enough, they'll watch flood masses rise to the grass at the surface. It's a really cool detail in Halo 3 that demonstrates how the flood spreads as it slowly infects the map itself. I think you're cute too.
Well, Arbiter, I think you're cute too.
Halo Fistful of Arrows is a fan-made graphic novel available on Bungie.org. Ever wonder what happened to June after he evacuated with Halsey at the end of Halo Reach? This 100-page graphic novel finally gives us a chance to see. The art from this book is jaw-dropping, and a soundtrack was even composed for readers to listen to while they read it. But it is actually not canon, making this perhaps one of the best pieces of fanfiction ever produced. It is written and drawn by Levi Hoffmeyer. Scrapped vehicles. Between the Halo 4 Revenant, the UNSC boat, the Halo 2 Mongoose, and supposedly, I've heard, the Infinite Gosshog, there are tons of unfinished or cut vehicles from the Halo series. If you want to try out these cut vehicles, many of them including the Kodiak APC and UNSC Watercraft are included in Arma 3's Operation Trebuchet Halo mod, which I've actually played on this channel before. Cut weapons. Halo has a long history of cut weapons, and not just the ones hidden in Halo Infinite's game files such as the Fuel Rod Gun or Covenant Carbine. For example, Halo CE alone has dozens of cut weapons, including energy shields, machetes, chain guns, SMGs, and my personal favorite, the microwave gun. Although, apparently it never had a purpose or function before being cut, and I just like to wonder what this and other weapons would be capable of, because microwave gun sounds pretty cool. There's also documentation referring to a flashbang grenade that was supposed to be included in Halo 2. Destroyed warthogs with usable turrets. This is a pretty peculiar form of set dressing. One example is the damaged warthog by the downed Pelican in Halo 3's The Ark mission, which you can actually build and forage on the Master Chief Collection. Hidden Black Spartan. This is in reference to an all-black Spartan hidden outside of the map on Halo Reach's final mission. This is perhaps used for a technical reason, but we don't actually totally understand what this Spartan's purpose was. 343 Industries exists in Halo lore. Yes, this is actually true, and their products include the Fotis armor suit, the 343 weapon skins, and the Unicorn Fist weapon skins. They have labs in Kirkland, Washington on Earth, which is also where the real-life 343 Industries is based. Several cosmetics in Infinite are also produced by 343 if you look into the details or lore on each of them. Deleted levels and maps. Halo is no stranger to cut and deleted maps and levels, especially as the series is no stranger to rough development cycles. As I mentioned earlier, Halo CE lost 75% of the planned missions for its campaign, and Halo 3's plot was supposed to take place at the end of Halo 2 before crunch caused the game to end on a cliffhanger. One of the most well-known cut missions is Guardian Forest from Halo 3, where players would fight a large Forerunner entity known as the Guardian within the forest where the multiplayer map Guardian now resides. Rookie does nothing for most of ODST. Everyone's favorite voiceless ODST protagonist from Halo 3 ODST doesn't really do much of anything in the plot of the game. Aside from walk around town and fight Covenant patrols while looking for clues behind his squad's whereabouts, all he does is escort Dare and the Engineer out of town. While this is a vital mission to humanity's victory, the Rookie only really accomplishes this one mission. The rest of his squad fought through the entire battle in New Mombasa as he was unconscious for most of the game in his drop pod. infinite ammo glitches. There are several glitches in Halo Combat Evolved where players can perform tricks to preserve their spent rounds. This is reminiscent to pocket reloading in the same game, where you can reload a weapon while firing another one. Halo Fanon is a wiki and repository of Halo fanfiction. Fans write their own non-canon stories about Halo and post them here. How do elites eat? This is a question I've had for years now. These split-jawed aliens don't seem to be able to use their teeth properly as their mouth is shaped so strangely. I can't find much from just wikis and the resources I currently have, but they no doubt eat obviously because they have to survive. Regardless, this question has been on the minds of fans for years. References to the Aliens franchise. It's plain to see that Halo has a lot of its design inspired by the Aliens franchise. Between Sergeant Johnson's look-alike with Sergeant Apone from Aliens, the design of the Marines, and the presence of infectious alien parasites, Halo mirrors the film series very closely. Many have also pointed Halo to being inspired by Starship Troopers, and I can see the resemblances myself. Anime influences. It's a little known fact that Halo was influenced greatly by anime. Specifically, Master Chief's suit is very similar to a line of Gundam characters, specifically a green suit known as the Spartan, which was a character created in the late 80s. The concept artist for Master Chief's first design, Shikai Wang, was influenced by anime character designs such as the ones in Gundam. Failed Halo killers. When there's a king, there's always someone coming for the crown. And in this case, there are many shooter games that released in the early 2000s that aspired to dethrone Halo as the biggest shooter game. One prominent example is Warhammer 40k's FPS Fire Warrior. Play Magazine stated in their very glowing review, "Who needs Halo?" The game is actually pretty awful and fell into irrelevance. Some other failed Halo killers from the time you may have heard of include Haze and Killzone, although Killzone had a pretty respectable player base and a bit of a cult following. Vacations. Vacations is a classic term from old Halo secret hunters that referred to when players broke out of the boundaries on trips outside of the map. The glitch that does nothing. This Halo Combat Evolved glitch is pretty weird. If you drive your Warthog up a certain cliff face in the mission Halo, you will do nothing. More specifically, your player and vehicle will freeze, and you are unable to move or perform any actions, and your character model freezes and locks up. Cold Snap. This is another popular Halo Custom Edition modded map, this time in the cold Arctic canyons of Installation 04. This one is less popular than Extinction and Huge Ass, however. Origins of Infection Game Mode. The Infection game mode as we know and love it that released with Halo 3 was not entirely a unique Bungie creation. It is based on a fan-made custom game type from Halo 2 called Zombies. The match is done on Team Slayer, where green team played as the zombies and red team played as the humans. The humans could only use pistols or ballistic weapons depending on the rules they follow, and zombies only could use energy swords. Upon death, human team players would switch teams over to the zombie team. This fan-made mode was a cult classic in Halo 2's Xbox Live days and stands as a testament to the importance of custom content in Halo. Operation Red Flag. Operation Red Flag is a canonical last-ditch operation to save humanity and hopefully bring a quick end to the Human Covenant War. The plan was drawn up in 2552 as humanity was well on the back foot, very close to losing everything. The plan was to get Captain Keyes to lead a small fleet to bait a Covenant cruiser into being boarded by Spartan 2s and ODSTs. After boarding the ship, the plan would entail setting course for High Charity and capturing one of the Covenant's prophets so they could sue for peace. This plan fell through due to the loss of Reach and the subsequent loss of the Pillar of Autumn. Dazrim. Dazrim are a fish-like species from an ocean world known as Reem. They have a great knowledge of the Forerunners due to the ancient Forerunner cities that were sunken under the waves of the planet. The Dazrim traded their knowledge of the Forerunners with the Prophets of the Covenant for an alliance and ended up remaining as a part of the Covenant Fringe. Ungoy's human media black market. Ungoy, or Grunts, traded captured human entertainment media on their black market. This involves soap operas, sitcoms, and more. This calls back to conflicts of reality, where souvenirs are taken from foreign countries by soldiers involved in invasion. I wonder what shows from our time the Grunts stole to sell on their black market. The Meddlers. This is a point of theory and speculation and is a fairly creepy, unexplained part of the lore. In Halo CE Anniversary, 343 Guilty Spark tells in one of the terminals that's hidden in the campaign of a ship crashing 60,000 years after the Halo rings fired. Apparently, the sentient species that piloted this ship are unknown, and no records of them were found in Forerunner databases on the Halo ring. Since this terminal, several mentions and hints of unknown alien species, perhaps from outside the Milky Way, that meddle with Forerunner creations and worlds, have been found sprinkled throughout the series. Therefore, all these unknown alien visitors have been labeled as the Meddlers. I wonder what these creatures are though, and why they appeared on the first ring in 40,000 BCE before disappearing again. Slipstream space, or slip space, is the manner of time travel in which ships can jump from place to place around the galaxy so quickly. It is a dimensional subdomain, where ships can enter into in order to commit to faster than light travel. Most sci-fi universes come up with their own means to accomplish faster than light travel, and this is the canonical mechanism that allows vessels in the Halo universe to do so. I don't totally understand it, partially because it's not in our own observable universe, but feel free to read up on it if you'd like to. The various Halo wikis explain this further. Halo vs. Counter-Strike. This is a dated, and I mean very dated, and low-quality flash animation that uses basic tweening motions and crude art common from low-budget internet cartoons of the time. This video is a time capsule, and it contains references to Red vs. Blue, the original Counter-Strike mod, and more. This video is actually a re-upload of the animation that is hosted on Newgrounds, and it seems to have been a bit of a classic amongst Halo fans who watched it as kids, while the internet was coming of age. GRD Helmet. The GRD helmet is a cosmetic that was cut from Halo Reach and appeared throughout Easter eggs and marketing images until finally being added to Reach in Halo Master Chief Collection in 2021, around 11 years after Reach originally released. Backwards loading. The original Halo Combat Evolved loading screen is iconic, but in this obscure video, it seems someone is running Halo on a toaster oven. "2012 Halo 4 barn leak." YouTube user Beg for Mercy uploaded a video they claim isn't theirs, but some 343 Industries employee troll video that was released at some point. The video quality is very low, and the content of the video is very absurd. It shows Halo 4 gameplay that was recorded on VHS, played on a TV inside of a barn in the dark. This multiplayer gameplay is from Halo 4. It isn't some fan-made recreation either, and this re-upload was released a full 6 months before Halo 4 launched. Here's the kick. This one is actually real. Yeah, it's insane. This video is scuffed, and this is never before seen Halo 4 multiplayer gameplay. This is best explained in a modern vintage gamer explanation video, which I recommend you check out if you're interested in the topic. The story behind this legendary leak is that a group of hackers had managed to acquire the Halo 4 beta version for testing. This group of hackers played the game for weeks and recorded it on VHS. The identities behind this group of hackers are Gabriel Kirkpatrick along with some of his friends, and they are responsible for not just the acquisition of this beta, but also the production of this video. Also, the video we see was recorded by Gabe himself in his front yard, not within a barn like the video title suggests. This leak wasn't a 343 Industries publicity stunt at all, but instead a group of hackers pulling off perhaps the most insane troll possible. Master Chief is the most average Spartan. In the Fall of Reach, Master Chief is described as an all-around average Spartan in every regard. Despite this, his character sheet is maxed out in one place, and that of course is luck. Halo 2's original ending. As mentioned earlier, Halo 2 wasn't meant to end on a cliffhanger, but instead follow through to the events seen in Halo 3. The unfinished storyboards of the original ending all are available online for anyone to read. They're an interesting view into what could have been, had Halo 2 been given more time. Moochers of Reach. Halo Infinite Season 1 offered numerous cosmetics for players to unlock that were themed around the armor and regalia of Halo Reach. Occasionally, players witnessed a bug where the season number and description was listed as Season 0 Moochers of Reach. Several fans on Reddit pondered on how mad 1343 Industries dev was, as it seems clear to me that the developer wasn't very keen on reusing things from Bungie's legacy once again, and would have rather been part of something new. Linda's schematics and Halo CE Anniversary. There is a clever piece of Halo lore in Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary within the Pillar of Autumn's cryo chamber control room. On a display, adjacent to Master Chief's schematics, are the schematics of Spartan Linda, a member of Blue Team and former squad mate of the Master Chief. Clint Eastwood inspiration. According to Steve Downs, the legendary character of the Master Chief was inspired by Western film veteran Clint Eastwood. He based the voice and personality of the Chief off the Hollywood star, as the brief he was given for the role explained to him to incorporate characteristics of Clint Eastwood's characters within the Master Chief. Halo 4 Secret Timer. Once Master Chief pulls the cryopod release switch at the start of Halo 4, a digital timer plays inside of the cryopod that can be seen from within the pod that can't be re-entered in normal gameplay. It seems to be a remnant of a timer that was planned to show how long the Master Chief was asleep in cryo, but was never fully implemented. Halo 3 Recon. Here's an entry I decided to add. Halo 3 ODST was originally going to be titled Halo 3 Recon. This spin-off game was revealed to be named as such in the announcement trailer for Halo 3 Recon, before the name was ultimately changed to ODST. Halo Infinite Rocky Development. Going back to when Infinite was unveiled at its first reveal trailer, it has been known that Infinite was going through a rocky development cycle. High-profile departures from 343 from 2020 onwards signaled that something pretty bad was occurring behind the scenes. And multiple iterations and features of the game would hit cutting room floor, with a full 2/3 of the campaign cut from the game. Upon release, fans took note of the difference between what was unveiled at the release trailer and what fans ended up getting, showing just how rough Halo Infinite's development had been. I feel bad for the developers who dealt with such an insurmountable challenge as getting this game out the door. Nearing the halfway point, we're now at level 4 of the iceberg. The entries here should start to become a little less well known, as well as kind of bizarre. Flip Yap. This is an Easter egg from Halo 3, and it also appears in Halo 3 ODST. If the I Would Have Been Your Daddy skull is active, randomly when you kill a grunt in the campaign, another grunt will shout at you for killing his brother, claiming that the fallen grunt's name was Flip Yap. Or was it Yap Flip?
You killed Flip Yap! Or Yap Flip, was he? It was Yap Flip. No, Flip Yap is his brother. Don't tell me I don't know Flip Yap! Flip Yap and I went to Nipple Academy together, and he's dead.
Apparently the two grunts graduated from Nipple Academy together, and this is a pretty rare voice line. Craig the Brute was staged for publicity. What seemed like a hollowed out soul of a brute in the rushed Halo Infinite demo has been accepted by Xbox as an official mascot. Craig has also been reborn as an Easter egg within Halo Infinite, where he has since become a performing rock star on tour across Zeta Halo for his new album, which, of course, all of his gear and instruments can be seen next to a skull atop the tower in Halo Infinite's campaign. Craig has also generated a lot of publicity and memes around the upcoming Halo title. The question thus arises, was this planned? Was Craig's low-quality mug part of the plan to advertise Halo? How deep does this rabbit hole go? Meg in Halo 2. The Meg from Halo Combat Evolved makes a few appearances in Halo 2, including a marking in a rock face and a sound clip that plays in the mission Cairo Station that says, "Meg, please report to the Red Courtesy Phone." Meg to the Red Courtesy Phone. Fascists in ODST. Throughout Halo 3 ODST's open world of New Mombasa, graffiti left by citizens can be found plastering the walls. They all have different messages that are seemingly protests or just cries of anguish as the Covenant invasion ensued. However, one of these phrases read fascists. although it's actually not in the game in gameplay. It's actually in one of Sadie's story's audio logs, yet a lot of players distinctly remember this being within the gameplay itself. The phrase itself is possibly in protest to the UNSC or ONI, as they've asserted their power as a sort of military dictatorship. Bungie considered making 4 before Reach in ODST. Bungie, as is reported by a Game Rant article, apparently wished to continue the Master Chief story past Halo 3 before the release of ODST. They planned on telling a story of the Chief waking from cryosleep and continuing on to a new journey. Windows logo. Halo 3. A decal of a Windows logo can be seen in Halo 3. This must mean that Microsoft Windows is actually canon in Halo. Happy birthday, Lauren. This Halo 3 Easter egg can only be seen if the date is set to December 25th. The player's Xbox will also need to be disconnected from Xbox Live, and they will need to hold both sticks down on their controller during a loading screen for the campaign. If all of that is done correctly, the message "Happy Birthday, Lauren" will be inscribed onto the Halo Ring hologram on the loading screen. Lauren is the wife of Bungie programmer Adrian Perez. Golden Warthog. Throughout Halo 2, there are billboards of a civilian warthog without a gun and a nice, dazzling gold paint job. Players all over sought to drive this mythical whip, and a hoax appeared teaching players to follow a sequence of steps to get a golden warthog to spawn on the map Headlong, which is the same map with the golden warthog billboard. Players wouldn't be able to drive this vehicle until it arrived in Halo 2 Anniversary Forge 10 years later, though. Flood Cannibal Cults. I didn't know about this until researching for this video. This is perhaps the most disturbing part of Halo lore. When ancient humans first encountered the Flood for the first time, the infected humans were not converted into combat forms or mindless drones. Likely due to a lack of grave mind or central hive mind command, the infected instead retained their conscience, but felt compelled by the infection to spread and cannibalize. They began forming crazed cults that abducted uninfected humans. They then forced the uninfected to eat the flesh of still alive infected humans until they themselves became infected. Big thanks to Hidden Xperia for the info here, as I couldn't find a mention on the specifics of this lore anywhere. He has a whole video on this topic. Cut Marine execution scene. In the final mission of Halo 2, it was planned that prior to the Arbiter meeting Sergeant Johnson aboard his Scarab, the player would witness a group of brutes decapitating captive Marines. This was revealed in a Halo 2 developer commentary video, where the developers explained that this graphic scene was cut due to the tumultuous political atmosphere surrounding the conflict in the Middle East.
And then the hunters are actually in front of you if you spend your time watching, laying back a little bit?
Marty, do you remember why there used to be a cinematic there? Do you remember why we cut it? Well, there used to be a cinematic there where the brutes were actually about to, the soldiers were there on their knees, and the brutes were going to
well, we have a little,
lop off their heads.
A little moment there.
Lop off their heads, and this was, unfortunately, right about that time when real-world events made that a little bit too real.
Ooh, yeah.
A little bit too real.
It was too politically dangerous.
A little bit too hard.
Halo the Movies. This is a DVD containing media from Halo Combat Evolved and Halo 2, along with pre-Xbox Halo gameplay footage. The DVD was only given to Bungie employees and was never put up for sale. There is a message on the DVD that orders the employees not to make copies of it, or, and I quote, "We will find you and summarily kick your ass." With the leak of this DVD onto the internet, it is quite clear that there may have been an ass-kicking delivered. Lore behind the multiplayer maps. Halo multiplayer maps actually have lore, and some of it can be viewed in the map descriptions within the game. Gravity Wrench. This is a removed Covenant weapon from Halo Combat Evolved. It appeared to have a charge fire feature and was removed in very early development. Alongside the Gravity Wrench are dozens of cut vehicles, enemies, wildlife, and weapons from Halo Combat Evolved. Katana. My favorite armor cosmetic as a kid. The Katana is a Halo 3 unlockable chest piece that was unlocked by earning 49 out of the 79 achievements, or by earning 1,000 gamer points within Halo. Halo Infinite would later implement hip-mounted katanas for the Uri Armor Core, since the Armor Core has an Eastern or Samurai inspiration. The Noble 14. This is yet another entry I've added, as it's well deserved. At midnight, April 15th, 2010, Microsoft ended Xbox Live service for Halo 2. Online matchmaking for perhaps the most revolutionary step in online console gaming was being shut down. After news of this shutdown became public, hundreds flocked to Halo 2's servers and found that despite the shutdown, as long as their console was still on, they were able to play in the servers until they signed out of their accounts. In the case they did, no more Halo 2 for them. Eventually, only 14 players remained, each of which's gamertag is etched into the halls of Halo history. These noble 14 players were in a desperate holdout to experience Halo 2 for what seemed like the last time in order to send a message to Microsoft that not only did they pay for this product, but lots of people still wished to experience its online play. Each player dropped one by one from the servers until only one remained. The final player, Apache Enforcer, was booted at 1:58 a.m. on May 11th. His console stayed on for almost a month, and he was alone for a full 20 plus hours in the Halo 2 servers. Halo Combat Evolved alternate box covers. Halo CE had shipped with alternate box covers worldwide. This includes the release in Japan, which looks very different, and the remarkable Game of the Year edition, with a Game of the Year seal printed on future printings of this game. Halo Custom Edition also received an altered back that teased the new weapons available within the multiplayer. Fun fact, Halo Infinite mirrors Halo CE's box art very closely, which makes sense as it's a spiritual reboot to the series. Face on the Moon, Halo 3. This is an Easter egg on the map Standoff in Halo 3. The face of Chris Carney, a Bungie employee, can be witnessed on the moon if you get out your telescope or sniper rifle. That works too. Which difficulty is canon? Bungie and many fans have admitted that the second hardest difficulty, Heroic difficulty, is canon. This is also coincidentally the most fun difficulty in the game. Missing scanner on Marine's hand. In Halo 3 ODST, there is a medic using a scanner on a wounded Marine, except the scanner is missing, so he's mostly just miming it. Princess Peach and Cortana have the same voice actor. Jen Taylor, the voice talent of Cortana, voices both of these characters. Energy Sword is based off 1500s Indian weapons. Halo's Energy Sword may just yet take inspiration from a historical weapon that was used in the Mughal Empire by its soldiers. The grip, or hilt, is perpendicular to the blade, enforcing the thrusting or punching use of the weapon, as if you were trying to punch your target. Cheney Mania achievement. This is a cut medal from the early Halo days that a player would earn for killing a teammate. The medal is in reference to Dick Cheney, ex-vice president under George W. Bush. During his tenure as vice president, he accidentally shot a lawyer named Harry Whittington with a shotgun while participating in a quail hunt. Thus, the team killing medal was born.
Do the Dick Cheney one.
Do the Dick Cheney one. If you shoot one of your own players, then you would have heard, although this didn't end up happening, you would have heard my voice going, Cheney Mania! You suck. But they cut that too.
Ling Ling. Ling Ling is Bungie's studio dog. The dog was once lost, but has since been found. Well, just the head of it. I don't know where it came from, but Bungie keeps a severed dog head in a jar of formaldehyde as a bit of a good luck charm? Bro, I don't get it, but apparently when the head in the jar was lost, they put up missing dog flyers until it was found. Additionally, it is in worse condition nowadays from what I've read online. It also graces the Halo games in several Easter eggs, including an appearance in Halo Reach's tribute room. Bungie's 7-step world domination plan. I'm gonna read the entry on the Bungie fandom page for this one because I could not have put it into any better words. Bungie, with aid of the 7th column, which is Bungie's underground army, is currently in the process of taking over the world. However, all plans, diabolical or otherwise, need steps. Bungie's plan, of course, has 7 steps, and progress is coming along nicely. Bungie is currently on step 7, take over the world. Shoot enemies into sun with giant slingshot. Ling Ling is even included in step 5, recover Ling Ling. Step 3 details the release of Halo Combat Evolved. Now we must wait until Bungie overthrows Microsoft and now that Ling Ling is found. ODST girlfriend picture. In the opening drop pod cutscene of Halo 3 ODST, if you search around the drop pod you will see an image of either the rookie's wife or girlfriend pasted to the wall. Halo 2 Map Pack physical copy. This is incredibly obscure, but I actually own this. My family bought it for the original Xbox like in 2006 or so. Back before map downloads, expansions, DLC, and map packs were sold as physical discs, like this one here that added several new maps and updates. Of course, these maps could be downloaded online, but this physical disc option also existed. Da Vinci Code, Halo 3. These secret objects that resemble textureless orbs are present across many maps in Halo 3. They sparked a mystery until it was discovered that these just hold the scripting for many map elements such as Sandtrap's towers. Delta Halo's floating button. This can be seen in the Halo 2 mission Delta Halo. The button itself is tied into a lot of other conspiracies behind Halo 2, including another mystery we'll get to known as the Tri-Gates, but ultimately it's just a misplaced piece of map scenery that, when activated, does nothing. The Arbiter's broken skybox. The Halo 2 mission, The Arbiter, has a glitched out skybox. Zanzibar beach signs. In the Halo 2 mission Zanzibar, there are beach signs that warn players against swimming in the water. If you spawn into the map on a holiday, such as Christmas or the 4th of July, the sign will change to give you a new message. On July 4th, the sign has an image of Ling Ling, which is the dog head that I mentioned earlier. Siege of Madrigal is a song from one of Bungie's previous games, Myth: Fallen Lords. It's been brought into Halo in the form of several Easter eggs. If you stand in certain locations within the Halo campaigns, the Siege of Madrigal theme will play in-game. It also plays in the official release of the main Halo theme song after the main theme fades out. You are hearing it playing in the video right now. Halo guns in a Family Guy episode. Here's the image. Initial Gravemind reception. I can't find much on the internet in relation to this topic, as it has likely been buried by modern posts, much like the other lesser known entries on this list. Despite this, I do recall hearing a lot of talk on how much people disliked the Gravemind when Halo 2 was first released. I thought the Gravemind was unnecessary and weird at the time as a kid myself. I didn't like the idea of the Flood having a central villain, and thought that its appearance was pretty bad. The dated 2004 graphics definitely did not help with the Gravemind's appearance. I will say it is a bit jarring for a tentacle monster to all of a sudden appear halfway through a sci-fi military shooter as well, probably caught people off guard. And interestingly enough, the Gravemind was supposed to be introduced in a level after Quarantine Zone that was since cut from the Halo 2 campaign. Stubbs the Zombie and Rebel Without a Pulse. This is a 2005 video game released by Wide Load Games, where you can play as a zombie and attack humans. And we'll just say this game isn't exactly a hood classic. Despite this, it did utilize the Halo engine, which reportedly caused a lot of issues in development due to a lack of documentation on the engine. In the Halo 2 Anniversary Forge Canvas Skyward, if you analyze the geography of the continents of Delta Halo in the skybox, you can see a near-perfect recreation of Italy. Hello, my name Keyes. This entry refers to the name tag Captain Keyes wears. The designers actually couldn't fit the word "is" on the name tag image as it was too small, so this hilarious error is the result. You might also notice the Marathon logo on his name tag. And with that, it becomes obvious that these references are starting to loop in on themselves. MCC Chinese version. There are several changes to Halo MCC to appease Chinese censorship laws. For example, the Gravemind isn't fully in view in its introductory cutscene. Blood and gore were also removed from the game, along with dead bodies. Whenever an enemy dies, they bloodlessly shrink out of existence across all of the MCC games. And it seems like this may be part of the reason why there's no blood and gore in Halo Infinite multiplayer. I'm disappointed that these modern Halos are so bland and lame, but what are you gonna do? Halo 2600. This is another one I threw into the iceberg. Halo 2600 is a 2010 action game built for the Atari 2600, inspired by the Halo series. The developer's name is Ed Fries. Next up is Level 4 Part 2. r/shitty Halo lore. This is a niche community on Reddit that shares memes about Halo lore to ruin the fun for everybody. Just like this gold nugget of a meme right here. Hidden Marine on 343 Guilty Spark. Deep in the woods outside of the Halo CE level 343 Guilty Spark, you can find an unarmed hidden Marine just chilling out in the forest. This is the character model of Mendoza, who loads into the Flood reveal cutscene shortly after the level begins. It seems Bungie just loaded him in early in the woods here. Halo Combat Evolved calls Master Chief Cyborg in the code. Master Chief reference models and code within Halo CE refer to the Master Chief as a cyborg. This is bizarre as he isn't as much part man, part machine, but more so just a biologically augmented human in an armored suit. This brings up the question that the Chief was perhaps originally intended to be a cyborg, a robotic creature of some kind. Grunts in Halo CE will also shout, "It's that cyborg," when they detect you, and the mission description for the level keys reads, "Stage a 1 cyborg assault on a Covenant ship and bring back the captain." "I'd thought you'd be taller" wasn't an insult. In Halo 4, upon encountering the Chief for the first time, Spartan Palmer quips, "Thought you'd be taller." This is perhaps the most controversial line in Halo 4, as fans thought it was pretty ignorant or rude towards the Chief, which didn't do much to make her character more likable. In reality, it's kind of a joke, kind of poking fun at how legendary the Master Chief's status is and how he already towers over her, but people really don't like this line from Palmer or the character herself, as she's kind of bland and uninteresting. The Arbiter killed Noble 6. This entry refers to the final cutscene of Halo Reach, where you watch Noble 6 fight off a squad of elites until the elites overpower and kill Noble 6. Regardless, at the end of that death scene, right before the scene transition, an elite walks barely into frame while holding an energy sword in their left hand. Speculation ran wild, with players believing this elite to be the future Arbiter from the Halo trilogy. But unfortunately for fans, the Arbiter wasn't actually present on the surface to watch Noble 6 die. Not only would he have been aboard a ship preparing to chase the Pillar of Autumn, this elite's character model that they claim is the Arbiter is just a field marshal or zealot elite of sorts, and therefore not the Arbiter. Further, it's not necessarily true that the Arbiter holds their sword in their left hand, as no part of canon or Halo wikis mention this, nor does the Arbiter hold his sword in his left hand in-game. Case closed. It actually wasn't him. Demonic Marines. This is a Halo 2 anniversary glitch presented once again by General Heed. If you kill enough Marines for them to turn on you in a section of the Cairo Station mission, the Marines will go active camo, and if you activate anniversary graphics, a terrifying bug is produced. I wonder what causes these texture glitches. They're definitely going to be the source of some of my sleep paralysis demons from here on out. How did Sergeant Johnson survive Halo Combat Evolved? This is a question I answered earlier, where Johnson's Spartan 1 augmentations allowed him to fight his way out of the Flood facility. But further, in the Halo novel First Strike, Johnson meets up with 3 fellow Marines, Lieutenant Elias Haverson, Corporal Locklear, and Petty Officer Sheila Polonsky. Together with those Marines, Johnson escaped the ring aboard a Pelican, despite what the legendary ending would tell you. They met up in space with the Master Chief, and proceeded to take control of the nearby Covenant capital ship, the Ascendant Justice. They then landed the ship on the planet Reach, picking up the surviving Spartan 2s along with Catherine Halsey, before making a quick escape from the planet. On their mission, Chief and the other Spartan 2s assaulted a Covenant space station and destroyed it, claiming an entire 500-ship fleet before they returned to Earth, killing 343 Guilty Spark without the Spartan laser. This is a hoax back in the day, as it was claimed by some that you could kill Guilty Spark at the end of Halo 3 without the Splazer, but this is in fact untrue. Chinese food in High Ground. In trash piles on the ground in Halo 3 on the map High Ground and on the mission The Storm, you can find Chinese food takeout boxes and perfectly good noodles wasted. Messages on the assault bomb. This is an old one I remember. In Halo 2, 3, and Reach, on the assault game type, the bomb would have messages scribbled onto it depending on the map and game. This is in reference to bombs and artillery shells that have messages inscribed on them in real life for use in war. Maybe we'll see it again in Infinite someday, if Assault ever gets added into Season 9. In the Halo 3 mission Floodgate, there is a Marine that holds a pistol to his head while rambling emotionally. So this is going to be tough for YouTube censors, but he threatens to end the game early on himself. He actually had to kill his entire squad after they became infected by the Flood, and was driven to insanity because of it, hoping he'd done his squad mates a favor. Yeah, Halo used to be dark. In war, especially with one involving a horror as evil as the Flood, mental health and innocence would be obvious casualties. Modern Halo unfortunately doesn't portray war in this mature light anymore. This troubled Marine's fate is unknown. Hopefully he made it out before the glassing of Africa. British Cortana. Cortana in Halo was originally supposed to have a British accent. This can be heard through some of Cortana's lines, where she famously tells 343 Guilty Spark to sod off, despite Jen Taylor lacking a British accent whatsoever. Hidden Trigates. In Halo 2 there are a few texture glitches that often resemble large triangle-shaped texture swatches that appear out of place. These are most commonly located outside of normal boundaries on the level, but one does exist on Coagulation if you light up a patch of the cave. As these were hard to find and mostly required vacations to locate, many postulated that these textures may have been gateways to, well, all sorts of things. Trigates were tied to several other Halo 2 urban legends and mysteries, including the floating Delta Halo button and the gold warthog that we covered a little earlier in this iceberg. Some theorized about interdimensional travel and secret areas, but of course this is all nonsense. These are simply bugged out textures. The Cave of 1,000 Faces. The Cave of 1,000 Faces is an out-of-bounds section of the Halo 3 mission Sierra 117. If players break out of the map successfully, they can find a secret cave that ended up implicated in a sort of urban legend or mystery of sorts. People say that they can see faces in the walls of the cave if you look closely enough into the textures of the cave walls. This is likely just a sort of optical illusion, especially as this cave would later be used in the following cutscene as the Pelican carrying the Chief lowers into Crow's Nest. This is an obscure find outside of the map and nothing more. Halo 3 Epsilon. Within Bungie, a private copy of Halo 3 was distributed to Microsoft employees starting around August 10, 2007, around a month before the release of Halo 3 to the public. This version of the game seems more like an extended demo of the game and featured a single campaign mission, Savo Highway, along with 6 multiplayer maps that could be played on Forge and multiplayer. Now you might be wondering if you could play this build. Players from the 360 days managed to obtain copies of this build somehow, which leads us into our next entry on the iceberg. Player that got banned until 9999 AD. I didn't believe this when I first read it. Anonymous Xbox user, known only by their gamer tag Scar, played Halo 3 Epsilon while Xbox Live was switched on. As consequences for their actions, their account was banned from Xbox Live until December 31st, 9999. Unfortunately, it is rumored that Scar may never live to see the day that their account is unbanned. Folks, a moment of silence for another soul lost to the banhammer. Religious symbolism. Halo is no stranger to the topic of religion. The main antagonists of the game are known as the Covenant, and they worship an ancient alien species. So it was only a matter of time before connections were drawn between the game and real-world religions. Christian and religious terms and iconography soaked the plot and universe of Halo. Noah and the Flood, or in this case, the Halo Flood, the Ark that destroys the Flood, the Prophets, Mjolnir armor. Many plot elements share names with religious topics, and if players dig deeper, the lore of Halo shares many parallels with biblical stories. Many have drawn up conspiracies or theories that there is some greater significance of this religious symbolism. I personally see some similarities between the historical Crusades and the Human Covenant War. So could there be some hidden, subliminal religious message that Bungie intended players to read into or discover? Unlikely, but it isn't surprising that these theories exist, as everything up to the title of the franchise has religious significance. Pancam mode. In Halo 3, ODST, and Reach, along with some of the multiplayers in 343 Halo games, within the theater mode, players can view past games and detach their camera from their past player character. Using this free-flying camera mode, they could capture images, videos, and even break out of sections of the map to view hidden areas not visible from normal play. However, these tools are normally accessible in the theater mode. Pancam mode is an extra mode added by Bungie that allows you to fly way further out of boundaries and view even further hidden areas within the games, and is used to find many secrets throughout Halo. Apartment 117 is a fairly obscure entry on this iceberg. It was an animated series that was planned and slated to be hosted on Halo Waypoint. This series entered development